Welcome everyone, welcome everyone who's watching this right now. Thank you very much. Just wait a couple seconds while the song plays. For everyone that is watching at the moment, thank you very much for being here tonight. Appreciate your support. Thanks to everyone. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Appreciate it. All my friends, whoever is watching in any part of the world, thank you very much. As I think I'm gonna make a tradition now. I'm gonna become a little bit more traditional. Put on the chat. Let me know in the chat where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from, what part of the world you're in, what part of the United States, what part of, you know, America, the whole country, of course, United States, or the American continent, because I know some people, they also confirm that, you know, like Latin America, you're in Brazil, if you're in Europe, let me know where you're watching from. Like, it's always nice to know, you know, like, it makes it more personal, in my opinion, that I'm talking to friends, to people who are part of, that are constantly connected to this channel. So I want to say thank you to everybody that it's here. This week has been a fantastic week, of course, as always, every week. I want to talk about a lot of things, the collectibles. Of course, this week here in the United States, we celebrated the 4th of July. It was a fantastic time for us and the family. I went to the beach with my family. We got a good time. I had to go back to work. Unfortunately, yesterday I was at work on Friday, but I was there on Thursday, went to the beach with the family. So it was fun to be there. It was hot. It is really hot. And we got this heat wave. So it's definitely not as fun. I know, of course, in Mexico, they had hit by this hurricane that just passing and is now coming also to the United States, or I don't know what categories now. I haven't really kept with the news, at least this weekend, but it's going to happen sometime this, I think maybe Sunday, hit somewhere in part of the the coast in Texas. So our prayers are with them. Hopefully everything goes well. It's just a storm, tropical storm, rather than some type of category hurricane that can be damaging. So prayers are with them. In any case, I want to talk about, like, this week has been a lot of things, as in the title. There's so many things that are happening. The start of Sideshow Con started this week, and it's going to be a prolonged month event, which is something I don't think has ever been done, really, as the way they're trying to do it. So I'm going to share my opinion about it. We're going to look at some of the teasers that they have. They haven't really given us anything more than just teasers. but barely teasers. But we'll see what happened. We'll cover some of the stuff. At least we know that the stuff that is going to be revealed in this convention. So we're going to look at the stuff from that. I'm going to share my opinion about the stuff there or what we have so far. We're going to talk, of course, about action figures. We have statues. In the action figure side, I want to talk about Boss Fight Studio. This is a small indie company. You can call it indie. It's a small company that produces figures of a small scale, but definitely there's their own studio. They produce a couple of things that are really cool. We're going to look at that Boss Fight Studio. We're going to look at Super 7. We're going to look at Threezero. We're going to talk, of course, of Hot Toys. I'm probably going to cover a little bit of Neca. There's something that Neca just released this week, and it's interesting, but I wouldn't. So we're going to look at a Neca, of course. So let me just put it right here because I just thought about it. Sometimes you just have to go with your gut and things. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna talk about on the statue side. We're gonna cover a little bit of Oniri's creations. Oniri creations. They have some news this week. Good news for collectors, people who are anticipating or waiting for stuff. We're gonna look at the news this week. Dark Horse Direct. We're gonna look at Kotobukiya. We're gonna look at Dream Figures, a new company that is called Eterna 9 Studio. We're gonna look at the first piece that they're releasing. Unlimited Studio, that's another, I think it's another new piece from China. I think they're based perhaps in Hong Kong. I'm not so sure. Anime Mason, they're actually based in Hong Kong. There's a former team that was part of Jimmy Palace Works. We're going to look at that stuff that they released, the first statue that they released officially. We're going to look at Piji Studio. We're going to look at Beast Kingdom, Hollywood Collectibles Group. PCS, always every week there's something from PCS. Prime1 Studio, of course. Last week I was supposed to cover the Prime1 Studio stuff that was released last week, and I skipped it. I forgot. I think I was too tired, but we're gonna cover it today, and also what was released today, which is there's a Batman Rebirth statue. There's a quarter scale. There's 2 versions. We're gonna look at them. They look amazing. And definitely this is what we're gonna cover tonight. But yeah, again, welcome again for being here. Welcome for always being part of this channel. Thank you for your support. I'm not the biggest channel, but as you know, I do everything with the utmost respect and professionalism. At least that's what I think. I try to give you the best quality possible and all the information that is necessary. Other people is more opinion based. Of course, I share my opinions here, but I try to give you facts, not just opinion. And so it is my purpose is at least to inform you, and you at the end make your own call, your own decision about what you like, what you don't like. But definitely there's a lot to cover, and we're gonna cover it today. But first, please, if you're watching this for the first time, if you like the content of my channel, you like this video, you want to be supportive of the video, you can do so first and foremost by subscribing to the channel, by clicking on the like button, so that way it can help my channel to go more viral, I guess. Also, leave your comments. You can leave your comments. I welcome comments, whether it's after the chat. This recording is going to stay in my channel. I always timestamp the video. It'll be timestamped at not tonight, but tomorrow. And you can always go back to the video for reference. So I always do that. It helps me too to keep my videos organized. I know exactly what I talk. If I need to go back and talk about, watch some of the stuff, because I've been producing content for over 11 years now. So sometimes, it's hard to remember all the stuff you do. But yeah, please don't forget to leave a like. And also, if you want to support this channel, you can do so by following or by just helping through Patreon, or you can do it through the super chat. Anything that you can help this channel, any dollar that you can provide really helps me to keep building the channel, to keep exercising or producing the stuff that we need in order to produce better content. And follow me on social media, Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. The hashtag is jpsarri. It's simple. And you can follow me there. Follow me on everything I do on social media. All right, so let's get into it. And again, welcome to those who are watching right now. And those who will watch in the future, welcome too. Thank you for your support. All right, so let's get with this stuff. I want to really cover... Oh, let me go back to this. You're going to see my stuff that I'm working here. But again, I welcome everyone. Let me just fix this. All right, now is the right page. Okay, that's what you have on one screen. I need a second screen, to be honest. I only work with one screen, but hey, it is what it is. That's why we need the funds, so I can put it on some of the equipment. All right, here, I want to talk about a company that is called Boss Fight Studio. And if you're a big fan of Garfield, this is definitely something that you probably going to right away gonna like. So we're looking at Boss Fight Studio. This is Boss Fight Shop. This company, they do a lot of different figures. Again, there's just a small studio, an indie studio that does a lot of figures on their own, but they also have a few figures for different licenses like Popeyes, Fraggle Rock, as you can see, which I remember. It was a show that we grew up watching. And they have also their own creations like this Sarsoic Warriors, the Strawberry Shortcake, which is amazing. I remember back in the day, if you grew up in the 80s, and definitely Garfield. Garfield is the newest addition, and this is what I want to cover today because they released these figures. Of course, they're on pre-order now. And as you can see, there's the first wave they're releasing for this tiny figures. They're not expensive, they're small figures. We have the Garfield action figure, the Normal action figure, the Odie action figure. Now, surprisingly enough, there hasn't been Garfield action figures ever. There were some action figures, you remember, if you grew up in this era like I did and back in the 80s, there were figures. There were little vinyl figures, PVC figures, plastic figures of the day. They didn't move, they didn't have no mobility, no articulation. It was just like a pose and, you know, Garfield doing something crazy as always. And they came out in these boxes. I know there were small studios producing. I don't remember the toy companies of the day, companies that in the end, I think Playmates bought them and it was Playmates producing them. But that's been 80s. It's been so many years. Of course, it's been other Garfield. I would say back in the day, it was so popular, Garfield. So you were able to see it. You know, he was on the plushies, on the little thing, the things that you stick on the window of your vehicle and on the windows with the little plunges, things like that. I remember that. That was popular back then. Even the Trapper Keepers, they were Garfield. You remember growing up in the 80s. So there were a lot of things that Garfield was popular, but there was never an articulated action figure. And this is the first time, which I'm surprised, and I came to find out this when I was just doing my research, the first action figure ever produced for Garfield articulated. And I will tell you, these are really, really cool. They're not big figures. Again, look at the price, but these are super, super cool. And this company has produced other figures, and people are they have a good review. People seem to be happy with them. Let's see. Now, there's some of these pictures here. There's not that many pictures to show here on this, but you can buy them at this place. You can come to the website and buy directly from them, or you can also go to Big Bad Toy Store and you can see Garfield right there. So they're on pre-order here. Again, look at Garfield right here, just to give you an idea. $24.99. There's plenty pictures here to look at. Yeah, this is a classic in my opinion. That is cool. Definitely the mischievous face of Garfield. And with his teddy, which is always awesome. Even the lasagna there, the plate. And the interchangeable, you can actually change it. You can see, I don't know if it's going to be magnetic it seems, but you can remove the eyes, the happy eyes with that smile with the serious face. So definitely that is super cool that they're able to do that. This is for the first wave, this is really, really well done. Now, when you look at Normal right here, this annoying little cat, as you can see. That's not bad, as you can see right there. With the little box with Normal is there when he arrived for the first time, with the eyes closed. So definitely it comes with a really nice little accessories. And I think for the price, I think it's pretty decent. And it's $24.99. Again, it's a great price for figures like this. Or now you can see Odie in his little, you know, food thing. And I like Odie, definitely. And it has also, look at this, you can change his portrait, the tongue out, or his teeth. That is very, very cool. And even his tail. Look at the tail. The two different tails. Oh, when he's... Oh, okay, I was thinking, what the heck is that? And actually, he's waving his tail. So that's why he shows the effect. It's pretty cool. I think this is very, very, very neat, in my opinion. Again, this is going to be released in the first quarter of 2025. You can pre-order directly. You can come here to, you know, Big Bad Toy Store. They always carry everything. But this company, again, I'm telling you, this company, it's something that they've been producing a good number of things. And it's cool to see companies like this, you know, that they produce stuff. They outproduce stuff like the Red Sonja Epic. That is a 1/12 scale figure. That's actually a nice figure as well. But they're definitely doing different action figures. Here you can see the stuff they have produced already. The stuff is in stock. The Popeyes figures. Very cool stuff. Definitely this is something that this company is doing well. And they seem to be thriving. I've seen other people reviewing their stuff. Look at this Phantom Hero with the horse. That is another great figure from this company. When you look at it, I still prefer the NECA. But still, you know, like all the stuff that this company is doing, it's kind of cool to see the stuff they're doing. But yeah, just to give you an idea again of the scale for those who are interested, let's go back to just to kind of give you an idea of the scale. Maybe see we can see it here. Maybe see it gives us an idea size wise. I don't see it, which is weird. They don't have it in their own website. But if you come, and they Fraggle Rock right there, figures cool. If you look at the figure, looking at, where's Garfield here? Okay, probably it's not there. Let's try it again. This. All right, so give you an idea, Garfield scale wise, dimensions is approximately 4 inches, which is not really that big of a figure, but it's a small figure made out of plastic based on the Garfield franchise. 25 points of articulation, includes additional parts and accessories. So I think it's 4 inches, a small figure. Very tiny, but definitely a great figure to have. If you're an action figure collector, then by all means, I think this is a great addition to your collection. If you're a big Garfield fan, then definitely you're gonna enjoy this. All right, so that's what we have right there. Now let me take you to another company. The next company on our list is going to be Super 7. And the reason why I'm taking you to Super 7 is because they also release this week 2 new figures. Let's see, we can see it on the Ultimates. And as you can see right here, you can see these 2 different figures. If you're a big Conan fan, Conan the Barbarian, so definitely these are the 2 newest figures that they have. Actually, yeah, as you can see, you can buy them as a preset. Of course, they've been having this license for a little bit. But the figures that they have, for example, they have Conan, and of course, based on the comics of Conan, based on the comics that were produced by Marvel in the 70s. And then you have Conan's the Barbarian, also called the Conqueror. So looking at Conan, for example, I would say that it's definitely the style of that era. It's pretty neat, as you can see. Very cool. Comes with all the additions, the swords, everything, the changeable hands, the changeable portrait. That's pretty neat. That's called the Conqueror right next to him. Very cool. There's a bonus super pack. I do like this, you know, the Ultimates, and I really like that they're continuing with this. And I do love, as you can see, the traditional box packaging they have. It looks amazing with the classic 70s art. I'm not sure who drew that one. I might be wrong, but I'm not sure if it was Sal Buscema. But that looks amazing right there. And if you pre-order the full wave, the 2 figures in a pack, you're gonna get the bloody swords. That only comes if you pre-order directly from Super 7. You get this, which is kind of cool. That's a very neat addition. You know, the bloody sword, the axes. That is cool. Here's a 360 of the figure. Very well done. I would say that perhaps I feel that the portraits seem to be a bit too big. But definitely within the Ultimates is going to be nice. You can actually accompany this figure with your, hey, what's up, Squad Captain? How you doing, my friend? You can use these figures with, I don't know, with the He-Man line. They have the Master of the Universe. I think they already kind of stopped that one. They're no longer doing it. But they got the Thundercats. So you can actually kind of go with them on display. It's kind of cool. I don't know what else they're going to do and build this collection. But that is a nice addition. Now you look at called the Conqueror. This is the next one. And they're $55 each. Is going to, the estimated time for release is spring of 2025. So yeah, definitely is going to be some time there. But here's Kull with his crown, his swords, his portrait, his hands, the axe. I actually like Kull more than I like Conan. Although I like the color on the skin of Conan. But here you can see. And I do love that packaging. And I don't know who that art is, but that is not Buscema for sure. That's someone else. But look at the tiger in the background. That is cool. And again, this is the thing that you get if you pre-order both. That is a 360. Very cool. And finally, we're looking at the package. $110. The only difference, of course, the price doesn't change. You don't get a discount or anything. Of course, on the shipping side, this is going to be the time for this early pre-order is like 30 days. And this is the bonus super pack. Of course, you get the extra weapons, the bloody weapons. So it's up to you if you want to get the whole shebang, then you go buy it. I like the packaging on Conan. That looks amazing. But yeah, that is pretty cool. Oh, that's a nice picture too. Very nice figure. Really like what they're doing here. So yeah, I would say that you can get this if you want this here at Super 7. I'm not sure if they have it in a big bad toy store. I'm sure that they'll end up there. But let me see if we can see it. No, they don't have it yet there. So or not, actually they do. Here you have it. Of course, you only get the figures without the extra weapons. So that's the only thing when you order it from Big Bad Toy Store. But if you check Big Bad Toy, and definitely the shipping cost from Big Bad is better, Big Bad, than it is, you know, doing directly through Super 7. So just keep that in mind. So this is what Super 7 has to offer this week. Kind of cool. You're a big fan of these characters. That is really, really neat. All right, my friends. So we're moving now to the next toy company. And I'm going to take you to Sideshow Collectibles, because that's where we're going to see the next thing. We can get it here too. I know a Big Bad Toy, but I want to look at these figures. I want to talk about this right here, Jazz MDL. This is part of Threezero. This is not a big figure. When you're looking at the scale, it's only 6 inches tall, so it's not that big of a figure. But it's die-cast elements. Of course, he has little plastic elements. It's this line that they have of fully articulated, movable, with light-up features, all kind of stuff with this figure. And I think the price is $80. I think it's great. Jazz is a very popular character, in my opinion. It looks really neat. It's not, you cannot transform this into a vehicle form. That's not the purpose of this. This line is more about articulation, poses, you know, if you're into that stuff. It's really neat, and I do like what this company does. Where here you can see the design kind of follows what IDW was doing with the comics. So they go into the more modern stylized design, the IDW stylized design. They definitely a little bit of more anime style, more modern, more techno in some way, or, you know, robotic. But it looks really neat, very poseable. Something that definitely you're not gonna be able to do when you're getting this from Hasbro figures, which are great figures, but they don't have the same level of, you know, they're not as poseable. They don't have the same level of possibility. I think that's the word. But here you can see it comes with different weapons. You can do so many different things. Looks really neat. And I don't think this one has articulate, you know, light-up features. I think there is a different line of MDLX. I think that's the next in the line. I think they have different lines. One is like the second tier line, or the next tier line, which is, as you know, more of the die-cast elements, die-cast parts, and also light-up features. So this might be the cheaper version, more a model kit in some way. But still, it does have a lot of great articulation, as you can see. Comes with the weapons. I do like the design. This is actually a nice picture. Very nice figure. I love what Threezero does when these figures. Break dancing right there. Even the interchangeable hands, you can see has some parts. You can see comes with interchangeable hands. Has the weapon. Has the you know, that, what is, I forgot, the hook with the real thing. I forgot how to call that. But I just forgot. I went blank for a second. But here you can see it's 15 centimeters, just to give you an idea. 15 centimeters, so it's technically this height. somewhere around there. Yeah, around 15, which is 6 inches. It's not small per se, so technically it's within the 6-inch, 7-inch figure line or somewhere in there, like, you know, like any other figure of this scale. Of course, not the same scale, because of course it's a vehicle and it's a robot, but it's gonna be around the same size of what the stuff you do with your Hasbro figures or your NECA figures or your even McFarlane figures, somewhere in there. So yeah, it's kind of cool. For those who are interested, definitely this is something that they've been doing, and they have done other figures. Of course, you have the Skywarp, Thundercracker. The MDLX is the medium size. Then you have the DLX. That's the deluxe version. So this is a medium deluxe, you can call it that. The deluxe is when definitely they go up and definitely in price. Like for example, this Drift that we took not long ago, that is that's from Flame Toys. I'm sorry, Flame Toys is another one that does amazing in my opinion. I love what Flame Toys does. So yeah, that kind of gives you an idea what they're doing. Looks really neat. And the material, let's see, just for reference, it's ABS. It has some metal parts, so yes, it does have die-cast elements, POM, PVC, and zinc alloy, which is technically the same as die-cast part, vehicle, car model. So yeah, it does have all of that. It's just the size, the scale, and it doesn't have as much, you know, things. It doesn't have like multiple hands like the others have, like the deluxe versions have, and of course doesn't have light up features, but it's cool. I think that's a great addition to any collection of Transformers stuff, in my opinion. All right, so that's what we have. Now, while I have you here, let's go to the next company, and I want to cover... Actually, we're going to cover Hot Toys. I want to cover Hot Toys right here because they released this week 2 new figures. They got, for if you're, of course, a Star Wars fan, particularly with the Clone Troopers, the Clone Wars, they got ARC Trooper Echo, and they have ARC Trooper 5s. And this is definitely into, if you're into the animated series. I started just watching the Tales of the Empire today. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm really liking this one. I like that the Filoni and that area of Star Wars, when it goes into giving more insight into the lives of some of those darker characters in the Empire, Admiral Thrawn, you know, it's cool. So I'm really enjoying it. So I've always been a big fan of the Clone Wars era. From not necessarily, I think I prefer the movies, the classic movies, but when it comes about the comic books and the novels, I've always been a big fan of that particular era. So this is cool. So these are, of course, these renditions from Hot Toys. Looking at this one, looking first at Echo. Looks really neat. And $275, I think it's a great price. You can see. Looks pretty neat. Of course, the actor who portrayed it in the movies, of course, they take that, put his face on it. I like it that it comes with the interchangeable portrait, which is neat. That really gives more value to me to this figure. Very, very nice detail. And all the interchangeable parts with the, you know, the visor and his mask, of course, the weapon. Very neat figure for sure. Very nice detail, of course. Nothing less that we can expect from this company. And as you can see, that you're already building this whole squad, which is great. Very, very neat. You can actually have this display fully with the 5 characters there, and I think that's the purpose. He has the separate rolling eyeball, something that is now becoming standard for all new Hot Toys figures, and I think that is very nice addition. The basic base that they're giving you, but everything else, it comes with a lot of accessories. Looks great. I think for the price, it's a fantastic figure. No doubt about it. Now, the next thing that we're looking here, we're looking at 5s. And definitely 5 looks also great. He has a little bit of course, a little beard. So just separates it. But he does have his own weapons, his gun, little bazooka, I forgot how to call that. His, you know. So it comes with different elements. So you can see that they're all not the same because they have different parts in their accessories. And that separates one from each one of them. You know, it separates them all. They're not all the same, which in my opinion is great. but they're looking really, really neat. And again, the purpose is to do all of these characters and have them all displayed. And I think this is a great display. Just this idea of this display alone, the way they present it here, I think is perfect. And you can see the difference in his portrait. Definitely, it's not the same portrait as the other. It has differences, which is neat. You're buying a separate figure for sure. So yeah, that's cool. That's another cool addition. Definitely, they did a fantastic job with the with this ARC Troopers, and they look really, really amazing. Now, I'm gonna talk about another company, and we're gonna go back. In this case, I want to talk about a NECA right here, and for that, I want to take you to. There's a couple of things that NECA is doing right now. And the reason I'm going is because of spec scale. Now, NECA released a couple of things this week. Of course, we talk about NECA, I talk about the stuff that they release. Now, if you're an Usagi Yojimbo fan, they release different figures already pre-released before, but now they're coming in black and white version, something that NECA has been doing. If you're not really a big fan of that from NECA, you know, don't do it. But it's kind of cool. I like these figures mostly, not to have it as, you know, to display them in the box. I think they look better that way because they're technically variants of the original, so they're better in packaging than they are actually, but you can actually get them out of the box. This is the Samurai. I don't have this figure. This, if I'm not mistaken, I think came also separate, but I never got the chance to own it. I need to grab the color one, which is probably sold out. It's sold out, you know, I never found it. But then of course they have the 4 package of Usagi Yojimbos. I didn't get that one either, which I kind of kicked myself because that was a special edition. They had each version, and now this had like a coat that was different. But if you want to get the white version, black and white, then this is the way you can do it. It looks pretty cool. In so many ways, more representative of what you saw, you know, when you see in the comic book. So definitely that is for that purpose, I would say. But to me, the best part is to display it. You can display it like that, or you can have two. You can have it like this, or you can have the packaging with it, which I think is always looks amazing. That is one. But then you have this. I do have the color version of this one, and it's still in the package. But this is actually cool. I'm thinking perhaps I grab this one, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But it's black and white. Some people may not like it, may call it gimmicky. But I think with Usagi Yojimbo, you can get away with it. And they're painted in silver because of the characters and how they are. You know, I think that would be really great right there. It looks good because, of course, of the comic book was originally for many years was on color. And then, of course, you got this Ultimate Feral Predator. If you're into that, they have the more light version in on the special sale that they have recently. This is the one that is full, you know, has a lot of blood. It's the same figure, different paint deco. But what I wanted to bring you here really is for this Beetlejuice, strip suit Beetlejuice quarter scale figure. And this is a quarter scale figure, and the price is $130. I don't think it's bad, but I gotta be honest with you, I am not a fan of this figure. It does have clothes, you know, like, you know, real clothes, you know, clothes, you know, real material. But I'm not a fan of the portrait, to be honest with you. And I don't see the point. That's just what I want to talk about. I don't know why NECA is doing this type of thing. I get it, you know, like some people like the quarter scale stuff, but I wouldn't say that the quarter scale is super popular. Some people might like the Turtles in quarter scale, or even when we have Deadpool in quarter scale. But to be honest, I don't see the point of a quarter scale that. Perhaps they did it because, of course, recently Sideshow did the 1/6 scale figure. I will tell you, if I have to choose a Beetlejuice figure, if I want a figure, I go with Sideshow. I think that 1/6 is more than perfect. The perfect scale goes well with other figures. This one is going to stand out because it's a quarter scale. How many figures out there are quarter scale? I don't think that NECA thought this through well. So if you come, you know, I don't know how big the demand can be for something like this. I don't know if we can go this last Ronin right here, NECA store. I'm sure you can find it at their own store. Let's see. Okay, they don't have it at their own store, which is some. Here you can see this is the Usagi Yojimbo pack that I miss, and I kick myself for not grabbing this one. I do have the, you know, the original in the box Usagi, and of course the Martian Usagi, which is different than this one right here. So there's a few figures here that came out on this package that I would love to have, but there's not here. So technically, I'm sure that they have it in other toy stores. I am, again, not a fan of this. The paint job on the portrait looks terrible. You know, this is the thing. The larger this figure is, the more the detail you can see, and the cheaper it gets when you're not doing it right. So to me, the paint job there doesn't look, it looks fine, but as a quarter scale, it's going to look cheap. And if you want something better, then definitely go for Sideshow's Beetlejuice. Just to give you an idea, if I'm come here and I put Beetlejuice on its Sideshow, of course, you know, there's a bigger price tag. Yeah, that's what I meant. Did I misspell it? Oh yeah, I just misspell it. I misspell it very quickly. Sometimes my dyslexia kicks in. I'm not dyslexic, but sometimes I think I am. I think I am. Here you go. This is the one. This is definitely $280. I think it's a much better deal. This is more realistic. It looks fantastic. This is the Beetlejuice to own. 1/6 goes well with a 1/6 scale collection. You know, quarter scale figures are still very uncommon, and to be honest with you, unnecessary in my opinion for a quarter scale. But at that size, you go for a statue. So I will say clearly in my mind, this is, yeah, some people may see the appeal, but I don't. So yeah, just keep that in mind. This is something that I wanted to point out. Definitely Neca trying hard on this one, but I don't think it's all there. And in my opinion, you shouldn't even bother going with it. So yeah, just my 2 cents about that. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the amount. All right, my friends, this is the action figures that we cover. We're doing a pretty good time. So I'm gonna take you now to statues, and I want to talk about, before we start coming into all the statues, I want to cover first the news of Oniri Creations, and for that I want to take you to Facebook. Let's go to Facebook. It will be easy to go there. Oniri Creations. This company, of course, I did have the opportunity to interview the owner not long ago. If you can follow, you know, you can watch into the videos, and it was a live video, an interview. We talk about it. So it wasn't bad at all. But this is Oniri now, and Oniri just released some communications. They have some. Let me look at the photos here. There's a couple of photos that were released. Of course, this is the new logo for the company. I would say the logo, it's fine. It's not necessarily the best. Some people were talking about that it needed to be center. I think they kind of center in the end, but at some point it looked not center like here. It feels like it's, and I think it's just the effect or the angle of the lettering. It doesn't look as center as it should be. You know, the logo doesn't look great in my opinion. It looks fine. I don't say great. It's just, it's a logo, you know. It's not something that, oh my god, it's a super nice logo. And sometimes simple is more. At the end of the day, people care more about the product than that. I think this is something that's gonna need some tweaking. Some companies have done fantastic logos. Like I like Pop Culture Shock PCS have done fantastic logos. The new Sume R has a fantastic logo. Some companies have great logos. But what this company's been doing is creating that. Also, they release a new person in the team. His name is Seaway. I think that's what it is. She is, I think she's from China or Korea, I guess. I'm not sure what the name, but the thing is, I think she's Chinese, but she speaks Chinese. She speaks French, also English. So she's gonna be able. The head communicator is gonna be the communication manager of the company. So when you go here, let me take you back. She introduced herself, and in one post, she's gonna be the one in charge now of communications with the company. Here's the information on the logo. There's already reviews of the Berserk Eclipse diorama, Griffith and Femto. People are already receiving it because they finally were able to finalize some of the stuff that we're doing. So people are already getting them theirs and they're reviewing them, and it seems people are very satisfied. But here's this hello everyone, I'm Seaway, happy to join Oniri Creations as head of communications, trilingual in French, English, and Chinese. I joined the team to streamline our exchanges, transportation information. Good news, Fento and Griffith statues are on their way. Containers should normally arrive by August. Upon their arrival, we will send an email to all our clients and professionals to organize the delivery efficiently. See you very soon for every more news. You know, so they also, she wrote it down in French. And here you can see the pictures they're showcasing about the packaging. This is China. They're already getting stuff in containers, getting to deliver. So, you know, this is good news. And I'm not going to deny that there's still people dissatisfied with the experience with Oniri. But at least they are getting some information. Here are more, this is early June. Here you can see some of those pallets. So stuff is ready to ship. They also got the Evangelion. We're able to consolidate some of those. They're going after those licenses. The Evangelion license again. Also, so yeah, they're working hard. I gotta give them kudos after the whole thing, the whole ordeal they went through. They'll be able to finalize some of the stuff they're doing, and it's still giving more information. So this is what we covered before. This is the line how they planning to release all this stuff. In this year, as you can see, some of that the Fento statues, but they're still working on trying to finalize some of the other license, trying to get everything on time. So definitely there's a plan that is going to be a while for them to complete, but they're working on those things. So you know, plus also adding new lines in order to get some stuff properly done. So in order to get the funding also to finalize the stuff that was already in the rear. So yeah, I would say kudos to Oniri for pursuing this. I know that it can be challenging when you come back from the dead. Really, this company came back from the dead, and hopefully they're able to manage everything and get everything done for all their clients. So only time can tell, but so far the news seems to be fine. So my opinion is that we gotta keep waiting, being patient with it. It seems that they're doing stuff. So if you order Femto, you know, be prepared to receive it very, very soon, according to this. Some people already have in there. Some of them, I'm not sure if they received theirs in order for a review or something. I don't know. But it seems that they're moving forward and they're moving fast, which is great. So that's what we're going to talk about Oniri today. So the next thing I want to cover, I want to take you to Dark Horse Direct. I just wish you knew. And we come into Dark Horse Direct collectibles because there's a new, you know, this is kind of cool. This sword, they have the book variant for Berserk. We just talked about it. That is cool. But the reason I'm here is because I want to talk about the newest collectible they have, which is this. If you're a big fan of Tomb Raider, they do have a new Lara Croft. Oh wow, these pictures are super, super big. I'm not sure you can see them well. This is a PVC statue. And you can order here. You can order up to 2. And this is, of course, based on the first video game, the 1996 variant, which is a classic at this point. So it doesn't have the same aesthetics, of course, of some of the newer Laras or some of the other Laras that have been produced over time. This is not a big figure, 6.5 inches tall, so it's technically within the 1/8, 1/7 scale, perhaps. It's made out of PVC. Of course, she's crouching there in that position. It's made out of PVC, so it's not super expensive figure. But if we come to again to Facebook, let me go to Facebook. Maybe we can see better pictures there. And these are figures, of course, we have seen. We have talked about a lot of these figures. I don't know if they have this figure. There's the Remnant World Stone. Some other stuff that they, you know, you always have to keep an eye on what they're doing, to be honest with you. It's a company that a lot of people don't really cover much, unfortunately. That is kind of sad. Because, there's right there. Because, you know, for X or Y reasons. But they do, it's a company that, if you come to think of it, Dark Horse was one of the original statue companies in this market. When you talk about the time where it was DC Direct, or even before DC, where Warner Brothers was producing stuff, Dark Horse was producing stuff with statues, and even before Bowen Designs was introduced, Randy Bowen was doing stuff for Dark Horse. He was producing statues. Many artists started at Dark Horse, a company that's been in business for a very long time, but it's probably not as well known, perhaps because it's always been more on the silence in some way. But it's one of the oldest companies in existence. Many other companies evolve over time, like Diamond Select Toys. That was one of the oldest companies. That also moved into what it is now. It was a different name. I forgot the name, but it was, I remember some creation, something I don't remember. evolve into Dark Horse and to Diamond Select Toys. But here you can see the figure. Again, there are better, in my opinion, Tomb Raider figures out there. Of course, statues. Sideshow did many statues back in the day. Of course, Sideshow did amazing and still on the classic, based on the classic games. This is, again, it's not an expensive one. It's made out of PVC. It's definitely for the fan. This is for the fan who loves the video games, who doesn't want to spend tons of money on something, but still wants something to commemorate one of the most classic games, PlayStation, PC games that exist. And in this action pose, it looks pretty cool and neat, of course. Simple in its production, not that big, very small. Somewhere into, I like looking at it, you know, easily a 1/8, 1/7 scale. Probably 1/8 more than anything. Little parts to accessories to create. You can put this, you know, like you go to the obstacle course right there, you know, with the flame. So you can do a lot of different things. Again, it's not expensive. So you can come here to directly to Dark Horse Direct. You can purchase there, or I'm not sure if you can get it somewhere else. You might be able to. I'm not sure if Big Bad Toys have it. I don't think Big Bad Toy carry Dark Horse Direct, and that's another factor that occurs a lot with Dark Horse, that, you know, they definitely don't have as much of a reach. They don't have it, so you have to buy directly from them. So they're very limited, but, you know, cool to have. Unless they go to a convention, I'm sure that you can order also some other stuff. They probably, I think they will be at San Diego Comic Con, so normally they're there. So we'll see what happens, but it's kind of cool. Definitely, again, this is for the fan of the original game. Someone, something small, as, you know, memorabilia just for that. But if you want something more fine and defined, or more expensive, or even the art more modern, then definitely you got to go for the other companies, the big companies. They're doing some of those big statues. So it's kind of cool for what it is. So this is from Dark Horse Direct. So let me take you now to Sideshow, because I want to go to the next company. We're continuing still on the PVC side, but it's Kotobukiya. And I want to talk about this next in line, which is this Sadako Bishoujo. This is Bishoujo based on this character, this creation, the Japanese horror. You know, this is technically to honor the Japanese or horror era or medium, which is very popular. There's a lot of horror characters, and this here you can see, give you an idea on the details here. For this momentous occasion, this is Sideshow and Kotobukiya present the Sadako Bishoujo statue. The Bishoujo series finally reaches its 15th anniversary. Oh wow, 15 years of the Bishoujo line. That's amazing. I didn't know that we're actually celebrating the 15th anniversary now. For this momentous occasion, Kotobukiya is adding one of the biggest icons of Japanese horror to the horror Bishoujo lineup, Sadako. Shuma Yamashita has once again lent his talent to stylize the delicate expression of this Bishoujo. Now, I will tell you one thing. You know, the Bishoujo line, I get it. You know, they trying to do all this, you know, beautiful characters, but this is kind of out of line in the sense of, you know, like, Bishoujo has been always about pretty girls, and I'm saying that this girl is not pretty, but this is more on the macabre, on the horror side than anything else. You know, I don't know. They could have done just simply a statue, a different statue of this, and I think people would love it as an Artifacts Plus, and people would be okay, because that's also what they do. But definitely they stamp it as a Bishoujo. And yeah, it's the same artist that does Bishoujo, but it's kind of going into a different route of Bishoujo. Maybe they want to expand the Bishoujo line into different areas, not just kept with the pretty girl, always skimpy little outfit type of thing that Bishoujo does. You know, like little sexiness, little girly thing. They're going into a little more of that. Hey, we can be more mature now. Perhaps that's the point that they're trying to present here. So they really go with this character. Keep reading. This stuff says, to honor the standard expression the fans often see with Japanese ghosts, she can be displayed with long black hair covering her face. Okay, so this is more in general, I guess, from all the horror elements in movies and television, because like you can see all these tapes and the VHS to make for an even more luxurious set. Yet another replacement part is included that shows a beautiful eye with seemingly lonely expression this statue to be. Her iconic white dress utilizes clear parts to recreate the appearance of skin that shows through a thin garment after becoming wet from the water in the well. Her finger and toenails are peeled off from scratching and scrubbing inside the well, making for a painted style that almost seems like a red manicure. The design depicts scenes where Sadako seems to float using her strong psychic powers, hovering above a pile of videotapes. The immense amount of unraveled tape being pushed out of the cassettes can also be freely arranged around the statues for extra decoration. Okay, so yeah, you can do a couple of things with this. It's kind of interesting. It's a really interesting concept. Now, the scene there where you can replace and move, we can see her eyes, is kind of obvious. Not necessarily the favorite thing, but her hair is black, so maybe it can be hidden. I like the tips of her hair, more of that clear resin, kind of give it that aura, that kind of like a, it's a ghost. And here you can see different position. It's a very unique, very different, design and take. Now this is when the face is covered. Although I think I prefer it with the eyes. I think it looks probably, better in some way. Very unique style, I would say. This is one thing with Kotobukiya, does a lot of things, and they do it well, and they're kings of the PVC, so they know how to work these statues, and definitely there's some artistic take there, and this is definitely for the horror fan. The nails are all scratched, but they're not as bad. Doesn't have like bloody nails or toenails, so they kind of still trying to maintain some of that Bishoujo take, which is a little more on the pretty side. So yeah, definitely. Although the eye looks very, I don't know, it also looks kind of scary too with the eye like that. But if you go for it, go for it. I think there's 2 different eyes. So you might have 3. Like that eye looks different. I think they do have different eyes. Maybe there's 2 variations of the eye. One a little more crazy than the other. So maybe we can see that on the details. They've been doing stuff like, for example, they did this statue here. I think this is not them. This was, and we talk about Mamerguria, this company. We talked about it before. That is a really nice statue here that was done. Very, very cool statue. We talk about it. So, definitely there is always this idea. This other Bishoujo, this is a celebration to also of their anniversary. They expanded it, created a 1/6 scale for this one. The original that was 1718. So they're going by this. Now with the scale for this one, it's a 1/7. So they still stick with the traditional scale for the Bishoujo. So you're into the Bishoujo thing, by all means, my friends. Definitely this is, for the horror fans, this is one that you can look up to. Now, the next thing I want to cover here, I have Sideshow. I want to talk about the next release from Kotobukiya, another PVC statue, but this is a huge PVC statue. This is the Venom Arm and Dangerous. This is a very interesting concept for Venom. And the materials here, let's see. The artist, actually, we have Kira Misono. He's the sculptor. And Hiroyuki Imaishi. This is the designer. Definitely they're going more into the line of having more Japanese artists. We've been seeing a lot from Kotobukiya. I'm not sure exactly what happened with the collaboration that they were supposed to have with the K brothers. I think ultimately kind of went silent, went into the sunset because they haven't talked about it no more. And they have been very hermetic about it. Particularly the K brothers haven't talked about it. They've been working with Sideshow, with so many other companies. So it seems to me that ultimately didn't pan out, which is a disappointment. Something that we have seen from Koto many, many times before. But in any case, let's look at this statue. Just to give you an idea of the scale. It is pretty massive. And it's long. It's an artistic take on Kotobukiya. On Venom from Kotobukiya. The paint job looks good. It's more of a cartoon style. Those arms super, super massive. I'm guessing that they're going to create also another version of this. Maybe a Hulk. Or Hulk Venomize. Who knows? That could go well. But look at that tongue. A very interesting take. Not for everyone, of course. And definitely not for something that you can easily display with other Marvel characters and creatures, unless you like this type of style. Very, very kind of modern, street modern in some way. Urban modern. It looks very unique, but not necessarily what I envision when I look at Venom. So this is one that definitely is for is an acquired taste. This is for someone that really likes Venom in a different shape and form, and likes to, or loves Venom as a whole and collects Venom statues no matter what. So there's always going to be someone like that. I think this is for a younger crowd in some way. Look at how tiny his body is. Now, one thing I can notice here is the seams on the top. I'm not a fan of those seams. It seems like the statue in itself looks cracked, but it's not. Those arms are super huge. As you can see, huge, bigger. The hands are bigger than his head, of course. So definitely this is for, it's an acquired taste. This is for a style that not for everyone. Now the paint job is, I like how good it is. It looks like when you look at oil, like the, you know, this coming out from the ground. If you ever been, have you ever seen the oil coming out from the ground? It looks like this. It has this coloration of, you know, which is not fully black, but it has all these different tones. And that's how it looks. And I think that it's actually very neat. And I wish more people would paint Venom that way instead of just straight black. I think it looks better that way. It makes Venom shine. And the symbiote itself, which is kind of like that, it looks like it. So I do like how bright it looks. It looks really neat in my opinion. So yeah, it's kind of cool. This is definitely another thing that Kotobukiya has done. And they have proven themselves to be great at doing so. So kudos for them for doing that. Now, while I have you here, I want to take you to the next piece. I'm here at Sideshow, and we're looking at the stuff from Sideshow. And there's another statue that was released, and kind of going into the same time of Conan, but now if you're a Golden Axe fan, if you grew up playing the video game in the arcades, and of course on the Sega Genesis, then you're a fan of Golden Axe. And this is Axe Battler, the Battler. And this is $245. This is by Dream Figures. This company, we had talked about Dream Figures before. They produce a lot of different things. Dead Dealer, for example. So they're going into that route. They got Morrigan and Lilith. I think Dream Figures in itself is an American company. They're based in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. But here you can see this statue. This is a 1/6 scale statue, $245. Now looking at the material, let me kind of on the details. Let's see, we have some of that here. They're limited to 1 per person. 9 is 19 inches. So this is a 1/6 scale. Limited to only 99 pieces. So it's a very, very limited number. But this statue, as you can see right here, it has a lot of great detail. I wouldn't say that it's the perfect representation. I think some things could have been done better. Maybe the portrait could have been a bit more better. Maybe with a different expression, more of an anger, he's in a fight, I would say. The effect of that power that he's holding in his hand, it's okay. With that resin that they're using, or that plastic. I don't think it's clear resin. It's more like a PVC or ABS. From different angles, it looks great. Paint job seems clean. It would be nice if it was a little more grime in his body, or maybe a little bit, some wounds perhaps. That would make it even shine better. The detail there, definitely in the base. Yeah, but I would say the portrait probably could have been done a little bit better. Maybe, and then I wouldn't say the skull, perhaps it's just the paint job that was done in the end. But it's a very interesting take, and definitely this is for people who love this type of characters, whether you're a fan of Golden Axe, or even if you're just like anything that has to do with Conan, anything that has to do with Francetta's style, you like those type of, you know, elements of characters. Definitely this can fit on that. It doesn't have interchangeable parts. It's very limited in the numbers. Only 99, which is another great thing about figures like this, when there's not that many, so it adds to the collectible value to it. It would be, when it comes out, you know, of course, it would be great to see it. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm going to point out that I'm not necessarily a fan. Look at this striations, or this markings on that. This is a sign that that people would say that perhaps it didn't cure properly the material. So hopefully this is gone, because it doesn't, I don't like this type of thing on the skin. You want to have a skin that looks more natural. So when you see all this denting, it's more about when the piece was, you know, molded, the molding came out, they didn't let it cure the right way, so it came out like this. So of course this is the prototype, and hopefully this is helped, you know, they able to fix it on the final product, because things like that, bubbling, or this kind of like indentations, that is not a natural thing. It's not a natural, in my opinion, you know, as far as I know, and I've been told by many artists who do this, that is a sign that it's something that was not really well done in some way. So hopefully it's clear, and the leg is more like the body here, because you don't see that striation here on this. So you know it's not necessarily that was intended to be like that. It's more perhaps it wasn't properly done, the molding. Hey, what's up, Cat B? How you doing, my friend? Hi, what's your most anticipated statues? Oh, wow. There's so many. To be honest with you, I don't have a lot of anticipation right now for many statues. I do have a few pre-orders, like the Twitterhead Batman that I pre-ordered with my Twitterhead collection. But I wouldn't say that I'm super, you know, like I have like one statue in itself that is mostly anticipated. I think there's a lot of things that I want to see in person. I will tell you this. And this year I've been more focusing a lot more on figures. I have a lot of figures that I pre-order, stuff like that. I have a lot of pre-orders, things that I don't even remember what I have. But on statues, I honestly, not necessarily. I'm really anticipating this stuff. Yeah, and I cover that in a moment. Maybe you're talking about Sideshow Con. We'll see. I'll tell you when I talk about Sideshow. A couple of things that I'm definitely very intrigued and I want to see. So I'll cover it when the time comes. But this is the Axe Battler. Looks really cool. And you know, if you're a fan of Sega, Golden Axe, you like this type of characters, definitely this is something worth checking out. $245. I think the best part of this figure is the fact that it's very limited in numbers, only 99. So that adds and helps with the collectible value, which is always important to keep in mind. All right, my friends, it is 8 o'clock. Let me take a first break so we can come back. And they still, you know, we're still covering a lot of statues. We gotta go to Spec Fiction. I want to go to Spec Fiction, so I want to cover the stuff that they have over there. Definitely we will talk about other stuff also here at side. We have other big companies. We got Prime1 Studio, PCS, and other companies. So we'll come back, and definitely I want to cover Sideshow Con and talk about the things that I like and anticipating to see, and definitely I'm intrigued by it. So give me a few and I'll be right back. And I will keep talking about this collectibles.
used to be solid, not falling apart. Things never not okay when you were mine. You used to be honest, not pulling my heartstrings. Every other day you change your mind. Cause when you're high, you call me like I'm lonely. Some kind of little toy for you to wind up when you're lying in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed like that. Getting busier and busier, so disorientated. First you want me, then you're busy. Girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a leash and running, going round and round, round. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck in like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck in like glue. You keep me on loop. I used to respect you, thought I was enough. Yeah, it feels like half a century ago. Guess you keep coming back after telling me off, without even feeling sorry between goodbye and hello again. Thought we could grow again, how about no again, again and again. I'm trying to tell you we can't be friends, struggling to comprehend how we broke up and ended.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back. I just got back. Sorry for took a few minutes. I had to eat something. In any case, I want to say thank you to those who are watching this. Thank you very much for your support. We've been covering a lot of stuff, you know, action figures. We cover a lot of statues, but now, of course, we have to continue on. But I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for being part of this channel. Please do not forget to leave a like, to subscribe. Let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from. You know, there's a couple of questions. I think Cap asked me what I'm most anticipated statues. There's so many statues to talk about, but definitely I think that you're referring to Sideshow Con. I'm gonna cover that in a moment. I'll let you know what are my most anticipated statues from Sideshow Con, which is there are a few that definitely I'm interested on. But before we get to that point, let's continue on with this stuff tonight. And I was looking at this in a moment, but let me take you first before we get into this. I want to cover about that. I want to talk about this. I did miss this at Sideshow last time, and I want to cover it. I saw it here, and that reminded me that I needed to talk about it. So I want to cover it in a moment. But before we get into that one, I want to talk about a new company. As you can see right here, this is, if you are a fan of dinosaurs, this is a new company now producing dinosaurs products. This is Eterna 9 Studio, brand new company. If you come, for example, to Facebook, if you enter them, they don't even have, I was looking at this stuff. This company doesn't even have, actually they do have a page, but they're only a few followers. So this is a brand new company. They want to concentrate. When you look at them, let me go back to Facebook. Let me talk about Eterna Studio right there. Right there. Eterna 9 Studio. That's about it. This is the company that I'm talking about. Only one like, only one follower. That is just super new. Normally that is not necessarily a good sign, but at the same time you gotta get credit. Now this is another, I think there's that 2 different pages. It's when or it's the same. When companies are trying to build or start something, they just started recently. They don't have a license on their own, but they're starting with dinosaurs. And I was looking also, they have a Instagram. So you go to Instagram. Eterna 9. It doesn't show up, but it's just the same thing. It's just a few pictures there to show. But this company, Eterna 9, of course, is releasing the first thing, which is this Tyrannosaurus Rex Hunter. It's a 1/12 scale statue. It's $565. It's not cheap. But when you look at the dimensions, of course, these are in centimeters. So I'm guessing this is a company based in Asia, mostly. If they're going by these dimensions, instead of just giving us inches. But it has a pretty nice size and half. It's not that small when you come to think of it. The height is 0.5 meter. So it's not necessarily small per se. So looking at the pictures, I do like how they did the saliva and the blood in the air. It seems like he was just probably fighting with someone and they just eating something, and of course he's the winner, he's the victorious one. And there's some damage around that. It can definitely coming out of some sort of entrapment, metallic entrapment. So kind of like take a little bit of a hint from Jurassic Park, perhaps. It looks really neat, a lot of detail, and it seems that what they're doing, it's technically doing their own thing. And according to what I was looking at their stuff on Facebook, that's where they want to go, and they want to gear themselves towards producing dinosaurs, which is there's always a market for this. Companies right now, of course, we see in Prime1 Studio doing it, and Prime1 Studio, those dioramas can get very expensive. So this is around the same side of those dioramas, half the price of what you would pay for what, in this case, Prime1 is doing, unless you're buying the vinyl stuff. But I think it looks great. It looks neat in my opinion. There's a good detail there. Let me put the music down a bit. I think the music is a bit too loud, so my apologies. The music is overpowering, but I'm just putting it down a little bit. All right, so it kind of looks neat. It's different style. This is one that I would love to see in person. Definitely, there's a lot of detail in the base. As you can see, they add a lot of it just to kind of give that impression of the scale and size of this entrapment of this place that has been fully destroyed. It's kind of cool what they're doing here. I really don't know much about this company yet, but ultimately it's not bad at all. They went for this choice, and that definitely looks like a huge creature to be afraid of. So it's very neat, very unique. Some people might not be crazy about the base. They might like something simpler than that if you only want the dinosaur. But let's give him some kudos for creating something kind of feels more like a base in a movie rather than based on a real creature. Some people prefer more the real creature, the scientific creature per se, rather than just something that is based on Hollywood movies or stuff. So yeah, that would be the only perhaps complaint from some people that might not be crazy about the take on this, because it's kind of like a cheap version in some way of Jurassic Park. In so many ways they're doing the Jurassic Park but without the license. But it's just an idea that they have there, and you can come to Spec Fiction and get this one here. Now I want to talk about the next thing while I have you here. And we're gonna go, and I want to talk about Unlimited Studio. This company is another new company. If you're a One Piece fan, they have a 1/6 scale Monkey D Garp 1/6 scale statue, $105. It's not cheap at all. But this company, if I'm not mistaken, this is not the first, but this is another piece that they have. I think they already have this already here, as you can see. Not sure this one is available. This is ready to ship. This is their second piece that they are releasing, and this is for the pre-order. If you're a fan of One Piece, definitely you're gonna be interested in something like this to add to your collection. I would say that the base is busy. Not necessarily my favorite base because of how busy it is. But that's something that happens with a lot of these statues from these companies, and a lot of the anime statues. People seem to see that, and it has more of an angle. Like you can see more like the force perspective on it. Not necessarily a fan of force perspectives. Sometimes they're done well because there's a lot of destruction of this building. He's above, as you can see. The force perspective is something that I'm not a fan of always. And they're going with it on this time, on this particular piece. It's a lot of things happening, which in the end also add up to the price point. I like the portrait. And here you can see the hand. So I would say the statue itself of the character is great. The base perhaps is the one that is busy and has a lot of stuff going in it. I do like the interchangeable portrait, as you can see. Very, very cool. Very neat paint job in him. I think even though I don't like how busy the base is. It's not like some bases, they have so much stuff around it, even above the character. At least the character is visible. And I would say the paint job, it's not like super heavy. So much detail that ultimately can just destroy the piece. So right here you can see the ship. I just finally see it. So definitely this is, you know, forced perspective for sure. And some angles I can see there's a lot of things, a lot of elements, which kind of neat. Some people may like that, but not necessarily a big fan always of it. Now, don't get me wrong. I would say that I like the character itself. And ultimately, I like that they come up with something like this. I would say that it would kind of simplify with the perspective on the base and make it simpler than that. And it would be fine. I think people will be fine with this statue. Some people might still like it. This is a character that I haven't really seen others produce. So that is cool. This is from Unlimited Studio, and it's available here at Piji's Spec Fiction. So you can come here and order from them. There's other places you can order, but I trust Spec Fiction for sure. Now, the next one that really intrigued me, and perhaps my favorite anime piece this week, is this one by this company called Anime Mason. Now, Anime Mason, this is the first release they have for this piece. This is they don't say what scale. It's a non-scale statue. They give us the dimensions. On just by the dimensions alone, it's somewhere between 1/6 and 1/5 scale. It is huge. That's the reason why with the price. It's really huge. And there's technically 2 characters. So it's somewhere there in between, just by the dimensions alone. Look at that. It's 75 centimeters tall. Almost a meter tall. And I wouldn't call it a quarter scale, but it's close to maybe a 1/5 scale or even a 1/6 scale. But definitely there's a lot of detail on this statue on Yamato. And Yamato, of course, you know, in the 2 different forms. And that is another thing that really makes, I think, separates this piece and make it really, really neat. It would be nice if they would add it at scale to this and not just simply call it, you know, non-scale. But that's something that I noticed even on their website. They didn't give them a scale. But here is where you can see how big this piece is. And it could be even a 1/7 scale for all I know. But it's somewhere there. I'm just going by the dimensions. This one is busy. But they managed to do it in a way that it simplifies things, you know, like there's no forced perspective here. The power around her, it's just effect. And this is a very impressive piece for sure. It does have light up features, which makes it even more impressive. And there's a lot of detail. So that's the reason why the price it has is pretty high. But I think they did a fantastic job with this one. There's no interchangeable parts as far as I know. They went straight with it. It looks fantastic. Nice detail. Even the texture on the clothing is good. And her skin. All that clear resin in the back looks fantastic. The second part, I think that's probably what makes this the whole package, in my opinion. And it could even say an ultimate representation of Yamato, this character. The base. The light of feature there that kind of goes through the clear resin in the back of ABS material. Very, very well done. Nice detail. And I like even the hair, her hair and the power in the hair. That clear resin that you can see there looks really, really fantastic. And there's a lot of pictures. So I don't know if I'm going around on the same pictures, but this is one piece that really impressed me a lot. A one piece from One Piece that really looks, in my opinion, the best. And I think they did a fantastic job. And again, this is the first release. Now, the guys here at Anime Mason, this is a company that's based in Hong Kong. Now, this is the they were used to work with Jimmy Palace Works. They were a team that used to work with them. But now they're doing their own thing. They went solo, so they're doing their own thing. So when you look at Anime Mason here, for example, let me show you some pictures. These are for different groups. This is a group right here. This is in Thailand. This is a presentation in Thailand. Look at the piece. It's huge. It's not small. When you look at the guy, all I'm looking at the arm, I don't know how tall the guy is, but I imagine that he's not tiny. I wouldn't say that he's huge or tall, but look at that. How impressive it is. So yeah, definitely looking at it, look between a 1/6 scale. It could be a 1/5. just by the scale alone. Close to, not I would call it quarter scale, but look at the detail with that resin in the back. It's busy, but it's so well done. It really works as a standalone piece. It really works really, really well. They did a fantastic job with this one. I don't know if there's others. Here is another one. This is from Spec Fiction. These are better pictures. Here you can see a better picture. Really nice, impressive piece. This is the one we just saw. Very nice piece too. But yeah, they're doing a fantastic job. This is the one that we saw. This is Spec Fiction. And here, look at this video right here. I don't know if you can see it well. This is this guy and the piece. And looking at the piece, I can see easily that is a 1/6. Looks like a 1/6 to me. Could be a 1/5 because she seems to be a little bit tall. But look at how impressive with the Lido feature the piece is. So definitely this is what you're paying. This is the price that you're paying for this piece. Definitely this is Anime Mason, this company. Definitely if they continue doing this kind of thing, definitely I would say Jimmy Palace Works has done amazing work. And these guys that work there have done amazing work. So I feel like with this piece, they definitely showcasing the ability, the gifting, and the talent to do it. So I think that is another one that is easily going to be very, very impressive. So this company definitely has potential, and this is a starting point. I think shows a lot of potential. They're going for the big market, producing ultimate representations of characters in a really nice, very fancy way. I can say that. So yeah, kudos to them for doing something amazing like this. Now, the next thing I want to show you, again, we're here at Spec Fiction. The next piece in the line that I want to show you, I'm going to look at PG Studio, this other company with the Amerfort series. They call the Amerfort Dark Dynasty. They have the Amerfort Elf series. This is the Dark Dynasty series. So they have different series. This is the Dragon Dance quarter scale statue. This is $710. I would say PG has fantastic pricing, but the quality of the piece is always amazing. Now they call it 18 plus because they're more on the risque side. There might be some nudity on this piece. Here, for example, as you can see, they cover some of that. But this piece is, technically can be fully naked. That's something that PG does, and a lot of companies seem to be doing. Not necessarily the thing. As you can see, it is covering the essentials, but tells you that this is something in this very dark take on this character. I think you can cover it up. Possibly. But, definitely very, very, very sexy. Now, I will tell you the skin tone, all that, the stuff that the way they produce the statues, they do amazing. I think the detail, I do like the Elf series. I like that one. Not necessarily, I would say, a fan of this or the fully naked statues. And it's not my cup of tea. Not something that I go for. And it seems that this one is fully on cover. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to cover her. Here kind of gives you another glimpse of a covering. I think it seems definitely very voluptuous woman. I guess you can remove those coverings and show really the parts. So yeah, I would say this is definitely on the risk. If I bring something in my house like this, I'll be in so much trouble. It's not even funny. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be in trouble. However, I can really see the artistry that it's in this statue and this company. So yeah, there's a lot of detail on this series. Here you can see normally present what PG does. They have done really fantastic pieces. I love the Elf series is perhaps one favorite of mine. I think this is a new series that they're going. This is going to be more risque, the Dark Dynasty, because I don't think they have other before. They do the Amerfort series. It was the original Amerfort series, then it went into the Amerfort Elf series. So they kind of been continuing to expand the series. And also they have done Battle Through the Heavens, Ghostblade. So they do a lot of this Asian, licenses with particularly a lot of Chinese licenses of novels and Perfect World, things like that, which you can see a lot of the animation even on YouTube. So they do a lot of the Chinese stuff, but they do amazing. This is this is the new series now with the Dark Dynasty series. And I'm guessing they're going to go into the more risque factor with it because definitely Dark Dynasty sounds like it. So yeah, for those who are interested, definitely the prices are always nice and they're quite scale pieces. they're not that expensive in comparison to other pieces. So yeah, PG Studio continue to impress with what they do. Not for everyone, but definitely there is a market out there for the stuff they produce. So yeah, kudos to them for that. Now, the next thing I want to showcase here, while I'm here at, we cover all these pieces. I already covered all of them, the ones for this week. We already covered all of them last week. It's one that I missed, and I noticed here, and it was a sideshow, and I skip in this Metropolis, Maria the Machinenmensch, and this is a half-scale bus. Now, for those, this is from Star Ace Toys, which is Star Ace. This is the XX Plus line that they do. This is a bus. I will tell you, if those who are unfamiliar with Metropolis, this is a film. It's based on a novel, and from the 1920s. There was a novel, a German novel about a utopia in the future, and it's a very political, socialistic, in some ways, views of it. This was filmed, I think the novel is from the 1920s, and there was a film that was produced by an Austrian director of that time, which is in this case also named Metropolis. Right there in the 1920s. So it was before the Second World War, between the First War and the First World War, and then the Second World War. So it was in between. And some people criticized it. There were a lot of political aspects of it. It was a critical aspect of the politics and the power of some and the people. So one of those characters there, of course, is it was this robot. It was called the robot, technically, the Maschinenmensch, but it had no name. Technically, Maschinenmensch means the human machine. That's what it means in German. The name kind of got the nickname of Maria, but it's not. That's her name. Actually, the actress who portrayed the character, her name was Maria. So ultimately, and in the movie, it was never called Maria. It was just the Maschinenmensch. But because, of course, I think it's a black and white film, such a classic that it's a historical movie, and of course a cult classic. People who love that kind of thing, they will remember this character or this robot. So here you can see technically the bus. I think they did a fantastic job. It's made out of polyresin. This is definitely for the movie buff, the people who love the black and white films. They love the historical films. This was, back in the day, one of the first robots ever created or ever presented on television movies. So it has a lot of historical value, and definitely a very political movie in many ways, and the criticism of our society at the time that hasn't really changed much about the rich and the powerful and the poor and the masses. So I think this is a very nice and neat thing. Now, this is $500, not for everyone, but this is also available at Sideshow. Same price. And here you can see it's a half a scale bus. It's almost 20 inches tall. I do like how they did it. I think the paint job is excellent. And definitely, if you have never ever watched this film, it's an interesting film. Of course, it's in German, but it's a classic of the film. And let me show you kind of, like, for example, I kind of got something right here. You can see in Wikipedia, I have this, the Metropolis. This is the poster of the original film. The director was Fritz Lang, an iconic director based on the 1925 novel Metropolis. And here you can see maybe a picture. Let's see if I can show you a picture of the robot in the film. Interesting. I don't know if there's many pictures here. Images of the world. The new Tower of Babel. The headquarters of Metropolis. So yeah, definitely there's a criticism of the world. A film scene. You can see a scene of the movie, black and white film. The actress, her name was Maria. And of course, that's pretty much received that. So it's just a classic, iconic film of that era. And there's been different versions as far as I know over the years. Or at least they have attempted to make different versions, but this is the classic 1927 film. So yeah, this is what they have here. You can come to Sideshow if you like, or you can buy here at Sideshow, which is not a bad place to go, or you can actually order it here also at is Spec Fiction. I think you can also go a Big Bad Toy Store. It's available in multiple places. But yeah, that's kind of cool what they're doing. And I skipped before, but I didn't skip this time around, so I'm happy for that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and I'm gonna, now that I was at Sideshow, let me go back to Sideshow. I want to go back to Sideshow because I want to talk about the next thing that we saw. And now we talk about Star Ace Toys, but the next company I want to talk about is this Beast Kingdom. And there's the little Zimba and Sazu. And this is a package. It's $299. I think it's a great price. Now, the edition size is 3,000, which is a big number. They seem that Beast Kingdom is unafraid of these numbers. This is made out of ABS and PVC, so I think that's another factor of, you know, it's not super heavy. It's not going to break. Looking at the scale of this one, I would say that this is, not sure if it's life size or even half scale. I think it's half scale. So, although it could be a life size. But it looks really neat. They did, you know, Zimba looks great. If you're really into, this is for those who love The Lion King. A lot of fans out there grew up watching this. I remember I was a little older when that happens. When The Lion King came out, I watched it. But of course, you know, I'm not necessarily a 90s child. I'm more than a 90s teenager, you know, a young man. But here you can see, it looks really neat, man. Zimba and Sazu look great. And when you look at it, you know, the materials look fine. And I like that they actually, their companions are not combined, so you can actually have Sazu in a different position. I'm guessing they're going to bring the other characters as well to build a diorama. I would say that it would be nice if actually was smaller than what it is, because now, of course, because of that scale, it's going to be a bit more limiting where you can display it. So this is not for everyone. This is for strictly for Disney fans, for people who collect Disney stuff. And that, you know, primarily because of the scale and size of this, they have the space for something this as a central point. Not necessarily for every other collectors like myself who collects a lot of things. So I would have preferred something smaller in scale, close to the 1/10 scale, same as what Iron Studios is doing. The only difference is Iron Studios is too expensive, in my opinion, what they're doing with their 1/10 stuff for Disney. I think they're going too crazy with the prices. And I would say this is more the point of reference, or the point of the price that I would say that is more affordable. But this definitely is a little bit on the bigger side. However, I like what they have done here. It looks really fantastic. It definitely looks like it has vinyl in it, you know, but it's definitely ABS, PVC, so it's a little more harder than vinyl. So it doesn't look bad. I think they did a good job. And when you look at what Beast Kingdom is doing with the Disney license, they're definitely doing really fantastic with their Disney stuff. Here you can see a lot of the stuff they've been producing. You got Queen Grimhilda. You have Tiger Dumbo Special. That is pretty neat. So definitely they're doing really neat with their Disney stuff. Dumbo, Pinocchio, Winnie the Pooh. So they've been doing a lot of different things just for Disney, and I think the Star Ace has been doing really nice. So this is another, in my opinion, another win for them. I think this is a very colorful one, very nicely done. They did a really nice job with this one for sure. So kudos to Beast Kingdom for something really neat. All right, so moving on to the next thing, the next company that I want to cover. I want to talk about another piece that was released this week from another company that has been in business for a long time. But I normally, you know, they don't release a lot of stuff, but this is the first time that I seen doing something like this. You know, they've been doing a lot of stuff based on movies, but they now, of course, you're a big fan of Rocky, big fan of Sylvester Stallone. This is definitely a piece that is going to appeal. So yeah, if you're a fan of Rocky, you're a fan of Sylvester Stallone, you might be interested on this one. Now, Hollywood Collectibles Group, they produce a lot of different things, props and things like that. And they have done a lot of life-size statues and, you know, things like that, boss or whatever. Just to give you an idea before I get into the piece, for those who are familiar with HCG, the RoboCop statue that you see, very interesting. They had Executive Officer Kane. You see the Predator stuff, a lot of different things. Sometimes on the overpriced side, I will tell you this. And when I look at this Rocky statue, I gotta be honest with you. $605, I don't think is bad for this statue. I think the scale for this one is quarter scale, so it's not that expensive. It's not a full statue. It's just technically in some way kind of like a bus. Of course, based on that, when you look at the technically that poster when he's being lifted, very classic poster. So they took inspiration from that. But I will tell you one thing. I'm not a fan of the portrait. I'm just not a fan of the portrait. I'm not. Even though I know it taken up from that very artistic style poster, I just, you know, let me see if I can find it. Right there. They go for this poster. Which, you know, I get it. You know, it kind of looks like the poster. You know, and I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to say, oh, you know, they messed it up because they didn't. Right there. Maybe we can see this one right here. Try to get this poster here. Right there. So they go, and I don't know if you can see it, but that's the poster. You know, they kind of took it from that to make that artistic take. And of course, the people lifting him up. But to be honest with you, the way they went with it is like they did that. They have the arms, but they make it more like a sculpture rather than the human counterparts. It does have some of that resemblance, but I still feel that the portrait had been done better. I feel that it seems a bit cartoony. So in so many ways, looks like that poster, as you can see right here. I'm opening the image, and here you can see. So they're going by this image and they're recreating this statue. I think they could have done a lot better instead of doing it like this way. They could have even done like this guy is fully sculpted instead of this kind of like stony style. So it's a very different take. It feels, you know, maybe they didn't want to overpower. They wanted him to be the center of the focus. But some people might like it because of how artistic it looks. But at the same time, it looks like, oh my God, like his face has been through the ringer. Of course, the poster celebrates. I feel that they could have done a much better job in really defining the face. You can take some liberties. They're already taking liberties anyway with the statues on the side. These figures, they couldn't just actually not make it look as bad looking as it looks in some way. So yeah, definitely this is for perhaps some people. They might see the potential of something like this. I just don't see it as much as some other people do. It's an interesting concept, no doubt, from different angles. And yeah, some people may see the artistry in it. And definitely I like the metallic, kind of the rusty looking metal there, you know, but yeah, I think could have been done a little bit better in my opinion. Of course, you know, don't assume or don't think that my opinion is final or my opinion is the only one that matters. In the end, it depends on perspective. Some people might like that kind of thing. I think I prefer it, and it's just a very different take. At the same time, it's like statue or a bus is kind of in between. You don't know exactly what it is or what it's not. Definitely it's something that, you know, it has, you know, for some people, it will be the perfect representation, very iconic representation, of course, based on that poster. And the price, again, the price is not bad at all, $605. It's a quarter scale. So yeah, some people might see it, but most quarter scale collectors will have preferred a full statue rather than have this type of buzz that actually works mostly if you have like a half scale. Perhaps as a half scale probably would have been a better choice, or you know, even a 1/3 scale rather than having. Right now we've seen a lot of 1/3 scale buzz, so that could be a better choice than a quarter scale. But you know, it was a choice that they took. I think the other companies are doing better Rocky statues for quarter scale. That's just my opinion, of course. So yeah, you know, it's there. You know, I'm not gonna deny there's some appeal to it for what they're trying to achieve. Necessarily, I feel that is necessarily that in the end they nail it. I don't think they nail it. You know, I know what they were trying to go for, but I don't feel that they nailed the whole concept here. But, you know, it's a shame. I think the idea was there. And it's limited to 500 pieces. If you like it, by all means, you know, don't quote me. Don't go by my opinion. Go by yours. But, yeah, there are a couple of things here that really are nice. I like, the base, the metallic base, you know, how the iron base, all that. That looks neat. So, yeah, that's what we can talk about this for now. Now, the next thing I want to cover, and I can cover here at Sideshow, but I'm going to go to PCS. Let's go to PCS. And the reason why we come into PCS is because I want to show you the next piece in line that we have is this here, Magic Johnson, the classic Magic Johnson. It's now available. There's 2 pieces. Only one of this is available at Sideshow, which is the classic purple, the Lakers, you know, outfit. You know, here you have the silver exclusive is this, which in my opinion, I like both. You know, I grew up in the era of this era watching the NBA, you know, in that era, classic era. You know, in this case, in my case, it was in the 80s, where I remember, of course, you know, he's been playing before that from the 70s. But Magic Johnson is an iconic figure. And they went with this one. And I will tell you that I think PCS continues to amaze me with this pieces. It's really nice to see this company expanding in the way they're doing it, but they're doing it in a very nice way. They're going through all these different lines that most people don't touch, and they do their own thing. Who would have thought that, you know, there would be that demand for NBA stuff? But there is. You know, people love the NBA. People love this character. You know, they not characters, real people. You know, this athletes that define a generation. If you were watching the games back in the day, as I was watching the Lakers or the Bulls, or I was watching, of course, my dad loved to watch the Boston Celtics, so I used to watch all that stuff. And this is a very iconic take. Magic looks really neat, and it's kind of nice that they're going with the number, the bases, and the signature on the bases, and it's very neat. And definitely, it's a very commanding pose that they went for. Very commanding for sure. Now, if you order this one, of course, you get the gloves, you get all the in this case, all the pluses that they give, which is the discount, certificate authenticity, which is metallic. You get the Ruby ticket, so you get extra points to purchase at the website. Very nice statue for sure. Really like what they went for this pose. Actually, I like it more than they went for this, the one they used for Michael Jordan. I do like this one. I think perhaps this is, at this point, my favorite in the line, in the sense of that what the pose that they took on the, you know, Magic being commanding as he is definitely a commanding figure here. Very nice. Nice detail. Nice paint job. I don't know who painted this. Maybe we can go and see. But very nice portrait of a young Magic Johnson. Very nicely done. And when I'm looking at the clothing, I'm trying to see if this is fully sculpted. It is fully sculpted, but it looks like real clothing, like mixed media. But it seems to me that it's actually sculpted. So that is really, really cool. Let me see if there's any information about who was involved. Additional details. That's the only thing that they don't really showcase names, which is a shame. Here you can see the ones that we've seen. Michael Jordan, we already saw that one. Larry Bird, which is also great. Michael Jordan is not bad, to be honest with you. I don't like the bust that they create for Michael Jordan, but the statue is not bad. But I think so far, from all the touches that they have produced on this one, I think clearly this is the best one in my opinion. 150, this is going to be the most limited of the two. You got to go for it. But if you're considering to get this one, and the price is excellent in my opinion, but this is the regular version. As you can see, the edition size is going to be even larger. But if you go for the classic purple, yellow, you know, outfit, jersey, and then this is the one too. I like the yellow. I like I like that one more. But this is also another classic outfit. Very nicely done. As you can see, you get less extras. This is the one that you can actually order through Big Bad Toy Store, through Sideshow. So yeah, this is the one that definitely is going to give you options. So you're interested on that. Definitely, this is the one that you're definitely going to like. So it's pretty cool. Definitely Magic looks great there. Very nice detail. And yeah, I can see it's sculpted, but it looks so realistic, like it's real, you know, like material. And that is really, really neat. They have done a really fantastic job on designing this piece, this whole collection. But again, this is I think up to this point, my favorite of the whole line is what they did with Magic Johnson. I think is the best for sure. So yeah, this is what PCS has. Price is excellent in my opinion for quarter scale statues. Look fantastic. You get a discount. Just come through PCS if you want it directly from them. Now let's go to the next company, and I'm gonna take you to Prime1 Studio. All right. Prime1 Studio has a lot of different things that they release. I didn't get the opportunity to cover a lot of them, which is a shame. I kind of forgot. Last week, I just, by the time I realized that I skipped them, you know, my apologies. I didn't get the chance, but we will get the chance today. So here I want to look at the new products, so we can cover the stuff that we haven't covered. And some of the stuff already at Sideshow, which is great. I covered all of this before. But let's start with the small stuff, just kind of give you, start moving into the newer stuff, which we're going to end up with Batman. But here you have, this is Data Bullet. This is, if I'm not mistaken, it's an anime or a novel manga thing over there in Japan. This is the Prisma Wing, which is the, you know, of course, the PVC stuff, $160. This is the Lux bonus version. When you look at this piece, you know, I would say, you know, there's, when you know how crowded the market is in Asia, particularly in Japan, with all this type of PVC statues for anime and manga, you may think they're hard to sell, but Japan has this history and this love affair with anime and with this type of characters that they do sell well. So it makes sense for Prime1 Studio to really produce the Prisma Wing line. You know, it's not like they're gonna go out of business out of it. You know, it's another niche, another market that definitely is more Japanese and more geared towards the Japanese market, but it's also interesting. And also there's a lot of market that is constantly growing and expanding around the world, particularly in America. So yeah, there's potential there for growth. And you know, other companies are producing this type of figures and they're doing well. They have done well over the years. Good Smile Company, Kotobukiya, and you name it. So many companies selling their products here in the United States. So yeah, why not? Prime1 can just tap into that market and produce with their own signature style, and they do well. This is a very interesting looking figure. I like it because sometimes the problem that I have with this type of statues or figurines is that the bases don't make, you know, they're not that great. Most companies don't produce great bases. Only a few of them do. And I think this is one that really is neat. The whole concept and design, the clock in the back, the I don't know, the smoke, translucent smoke on the side, the figure, the pose. It's a very neat Prisma Wing statue, very nicely done, very nice base, very firm. Gives it a little more premium style base. It's not just a tiny little plastic base that is translucent, you know, like, you know, in this case that you can see through, things like that. It's not cheap. It does seem like a, you know, sculpted statue that is made out of a more resilient material, like, you know, or sturdier material like polystone or resin. And that is cool. They did a really nice job with this one for sure. It's a very neat figure. I really don't know much about this character, but just looking at the concept that they went for and the style, the dimensions is pretty much 34 centimeters. It's not small. It has some dimensions. It's really a neat figure with really nice detail that if you have a really nice light up space, it's going to look really, really neat. And I can see that she has different eye colors, which is very neat, blue and red. Here you can see the base with the clock. I think it's just design. I don't know if you can actually pose or change the time. Very, very neat. So yeah, this is definitely the Prisma Wing line. And again, Data Bullet, this is a very interesting take on this character. Here you can see from the anime series, Data Bullet, Queen has been made into a figure after an endless battle royale. This mysterious girl appeared before Kurumi Tokisaki. Her elegant presence, superhuman abilities, and complex inner persona are beautifully captured. So yeah, that is cool. This is the Prisma Wing line. This is again from Prime1 Studio. All right, so now moving to the next thing. One that I definitely want to talk about last week, and I skipped for stupid reasons. The Optimus Primal. This is from Transformers Rise of the Beast, the most recent Transformers movie. You got regular version and you got the ultimate version. The The regular version is $18.99. It's only this version of Optimus. Let's look at this one here. This is just Optimus Prime. If you go for the regular version, as you can see, and when you look at this piece, this is a very impressive Optimus. I did like the film. I mentioned it many times before. I like it because I think they respected more of the source material. I do like in this case, where they took it from the Optimus Primal from the animated series, the Rise of the Beast and all that of the Beast Wars. And he has LED illumination in the eyes. And this creature and this, like scorpions that were in the film, there's light up there. Also in the base, those are really nice touches. And definitely they go for a nice pose on this one. As you can see, it looks really neat. Very well done. Very nice on this one. Nice detail with the sculpt. They did a really nice job. A lot of detail on this piece. They're not interchangeable parts. That's the only disappointment with the regular one, which I feel that they should have added, particularly at this price point. It's secondly, you're getting just the basic thing with the light-up features, but it would be nice to have, at least a different portrait, which comes with the deluxe version we're going to see in just a moment. And that would be nice. And also maybe some different weapons and hands without the swords. But that's about it. You only get the light-up features, and everything is technically that it is the same piece. It's technically just the way it looks, and nothing else, nothing more. But if you want the ultimate bonus version, this is the one that comes with all the extras and everything that you need for if you want the ultimate representation of Optimus Primal. It comes with swappable hand parts. That's just for the bonus part, and I like that. So you can get, it's limited to the 350 pieces, the first 3. So you can get different weapons to go alongside it. And I think that is super, super neat. You can see the hands and how you can transform those hands and swap it. With the sword, you can make actually 2-blade sword. That's a bonus part of the one without the weapon. That is another neat design. And of course, you get... with this one, deluxe version, you get the transform, the gorilla form. And that looks super, super impressive on top of each other. Of course, that didn't happen in the film. But of course, it's the idea of the character being fully transformed. This is a very nice representation. And of course, this is reflected in the price tag. It does have the light-up features. It has interchangeable portraits for both, for the gorilla form and for the transform form, for the robot form. The height is 1 meter tall. It's pretty tall. And the background is nice. The detail is super nice. The jungle effect, of course, they're in this case in Peru. So they're in the Andes. They're in some sylvatic areas of Peru, of course, and in the jungle side. You saw that in the film. But here with the light-up feature, I think it's a very nice light-up feature. Very nice representation of Optimus Primal in its gorilla form. And here you can see the robot mode head parts. You have the one cover his mouth, the open mouth, and on the beast mode, of course, the open mouth and the closed mouth. So you got all of that, all of those things. And the light-up features are there, the same as they were with the other piece, but here are more expanded. So the LED illumination is everywhere. So yeah, I would say this is the ultimate. I like the other one. I wish the other one has an open mouth. They could have gone with that one for the other one. I don't know why they didn't provide it. But this one, of course, it has everything. So this is, again, the ultimate representation. Now, it does have, says, fake fur parts. So it does have a little bit of that material, mixed media, a little bit of fur. Some people may not like that because, of course, that requires a little bit of maintenance. And it could be a more sensitive part that kind of ultimately can start just peeling off, or the hair start falling off and they're just having an issue. Kind of like, any toy that have that material. But I think it's kind of cool that they went with this. A fully sculpted would have been fine, in my opinion. But that looks great. And there's a lot of pictures here to showcase. Very nicely done. I really like this one for sure. They did a really fantastic job with it. Very neat. And there's so many different, and I can go on and on here. We're almost 78 pictures there. And for time's sake, we're going to skip that one. But yeah, again, this is definitely my favorite. They did a fantastic job with this piece. So kudos to Prime1 for another fantastic piece. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is this 2 pieces. Let me take you there. There are 2 pieces that were released. 2 Batman statues based on the Rebirth, the newer Batman. This is, when I look at this style, I think this is Jason Fabok, if I'm not mistaken. It could be any other, but I think it's based on the art of Jason Fabok. They have the Batman black version and they got the blue version. At first, I will tell you, I was a fan right away of the black version. I'm gonna start with the black version. This is the deluxe version, DX version. You got deluxe bonus blue, regular version. They got the regular version blue, and they have less portraits, you know, like less things to showcase. But I think the versions, and if I start with the black one, that was my favorite first, and then I saw the blue. But I'm gonna show you the black version. The DX bonus part is that you get an extra batarang that go along in his hand. And I was looking at the black version. And I really like what they did with this one. It's a quarter scale statue. I like the base, the angel in the back, the statue of the angel, the vampires, the bats in the back. Very neat, very well done. You know, and I'm not gonna tell you, I'm not a big fan of in this case of I would say the Rebirth version of Batman in some way. But I think they did a really nice job with this one. I think that he looks fantastic. It is well done. I do like the portrait where he's angry. And of course, with this one, the deluxe version, you get the interchangeable, portrait, which is this boss. So you get with the deluxe, with the regular, you only get this regular portrait. And with the deluxe, you get, of course, other different versions. You get 3 more versions. Not only a regular face, you also get 3 other portraits. Some of them, I would say these are too similar, but they're looking down. One is looking down. Instead of looking to the front, it's looking down. One is looking to the side. And of course, the angry expression. And of course, you get the boss where you can input those things. The portraits. And of course, everything else that comes, all the details. It's a really impressive piece. And the face can be replaced again, as I mentioned. Very nicely done. This is a fantastic piece. Sometimes, of course, I see a lot of times people complaining about what's the best Batman ever created, or the Batman created by Prisma. And of course, everybody has their favorites. And most of the time, those favorites are based on the statue that they have themselves. You know, if you have a statue, you're going to cover that piece, or you're going to think that that's the best representation. I'm more like, okay, I think all the percentages are fine. You know, sometimes are better than others. Not necessarily because I own it, it means that it's best. You know, I cannot just be biased about it. But I think, honestly, this is one of the best representations of Batman I've seen in recent times. And I even like it more than the 1/3 scale, the Fabok statue that a lot of people think that is the best. I do like it even more than the Hush Batman in some way. Why? You know, I like that Hush Batman, but this has that neat, more dynamic pose. And there's so much that the story that is told through this, you know, it looks really neat as a quarter scale. It's a very impressive piece. Very nice detail, very nice body here with the different portraits, different expressions, nice detail. The statue looks amazing there. You know, the detail on the base on top of that church. It's just really, really neat. And I'm here. It's 123 pictures. Very nice detail. Very well done. And man, it's an impressive piece for a quarter scale. This is a very artistic piece for sure. And that's reflected, of course, on the price. You're going to pay a good price. But it's definitely one of the best Batman statues I've seen. It looks really neat, just the prototype alone. You know, hoping that actually they have it at Sideshow Con. At least they bring it, you know, they get some of these pieces to showcase. That'd be great. Look at this picture. Very nicely done. Very nice sculpt. The artist at Prime1 did a fantastic job. And there's so much, you know, with the different portraits to showcase. Very, very well done. This is a very beautiful piece for sure. The deluxe version is probably the ways to go. Very nice. The angry face is very, very nice. I like that. Even the purple on the cape and the inside. So it's not fully black. It's more of a grayish. But it's more of a darker tone. Very, very nicely done. Very, very well done. This is a very well done piece. No doubt about it. They did a really nice job with this one. Very impressed with it. Very nice. Man, I'm already going through all the pictures. And I think I have to, because this piece is impressive. The more I see it, the more I like it. This is an impressive Batman for sure. Yeah. Very nicely done, man. It's just impressive. The suit looks great. The detail is great. Fully sculpted. No mixed media. Very nicely sculpted cape. So that is really a neat piece. Now, that is the one. So I was at first saying, like, the black version is the best. You know, maybe I like the darker tone on it. But then I saw the blue version. And just to kind of give us an idea, the edition size is 300 for each. So each one of them is limited. So this is great. They realize that, yeah, technically you're killing the market in one. We're not killing the market, but, you know, you don't want to just overdo one or overdo both, because, you know, some people are still going to be torn about one or the other. So they decided to keep the numbers low for both. At least we're talking about the bonus edition sizes. Now, for the others, regular versions is going to be numbers can be large, could be even less. But at least for those exclusives, they definitely are limiting the numbers. So 300, I think, is a fair number for each. You're not going in the thousands or anything like that. So that's great. So that also adds to the collectible value of the deluxe versions. Now, at first I was, again, I was telling you, I was a fan of the black one. But then I look at the blue one and I went through the pictures. Before, of course, I did this video of going through everything that I'm going to talk about. It comes with the same parts. You know, the extra batarang, that's the bonus. But then the more I see it, the more I like the blue. I do like the blue a lot. You know, I feel like it's that classic take, the classic blue. Like, look at that from that angle. It reminds me, as soon as I saw it, even though the suit is different, it reminds me of how much I love to read the comics, Batman comics in the late 80s and the 80s. Mostly in the late 80s, I was a big fan. Early 90s. I love those comics when Batman got a little darker after, you know, in the late 80s. And there was more of a dark tone and presentation. I like that blue. It feels so good in contrast with the rest of the statue, with the, you know, everything else with the base. Those look nice. And here you can see from this angle, looks a little bit darker. So yeah, some of that blue is going to be more shiny depending on your light of that you have at home and how you light up this stuff. But even the blue looks fascinating. So to be honest with you, I'm more inclined for the blue than the black now. Yeah, they still maintain the same symbol with the black, but definitely that blue makes it, I don't know, it makes it pop out more and more realistic. And it still has the shading. It was well applied on the paint job. So it's still a very nice depiction of Batman. I do like the blue. It feels more 90s to me and more late 80s to me. And that is good. Very well done. It does give nice contrast with the, you know, with the church, top of the church, with the angel. Very nicely done. Regardless if you choose the black one or the blue one, I think you're definitely going to love this piece. But the blue one to me is perhaps the better choice. And again, it's my opinion. You know, you might differ. You grew up with the black version of Batman. I grew up with the blue version of Batman. So I'm always have this tar for blue versions over, you know, over black versions. Although I do like black Batman too, because also in the 80s you saw a lot of artists depicting it in black. But I'm always gonna be more, you know, the classic look for me of the blue Batman, the blue costume. And it's not like, you can see like with the light is down, still there's a little more darkness to it. It's not super blue, it's not shiny blue still. So yeah, definitely you can, it's still gonna shine, but it's not going to be, it's still gonna be a little bit on the darker tone, but it's not gonna be super bright, you know, like it looks funny. It's still gonna have some darkness to it, but it's gonna, if you're in this picture, look more grayish. And of course it might be also the filter that they use, but it looks really neat. Yeah, on that angle looks really neat. They did a very nice job with this Batman for sure. And I'm going through all the pictures, man, because I'm very impressed with this piece, to be honest. I really like it very, very much. And of course, it comes with all the deluxe parts, the bus and everything, the stand for your extra portraits, all of that. So it's just super, super neat. They did a really nice job with this. Very neat. Almost done with this one. Yeah, definitely nice detail again. It's the same piece, but I think that, again, the blue looks neat in my opinion, looks better. It depicts the piece great. Doesn't mean that the black one is bad. I think the black one is also excellent. I think they're both excellent. They did a really nice job with this one. So I would say Prime1 Studio, again, showcasing how impressive this company can be. That definitely now they're going in the quarter scale route, and definitely they're taking no prisoners with the quarter scale. I think they're giving Sideshow a run for the money, of course, and the price I think is fair. $1,000 for a piece like this, it's not bad. You know, like when you're thinking about Sideshow's already getting there for a couple hundred more, you get more bang for your buck because that base is impressive. The base alone is impressive, and any of the extras that come with it, I think makes this piece a very unique depiction of Batman, and definitely one of the most impressive pieces that I've seen this year so far. So yeah, it is really, really neat. So they have done a fantastic job. All right, my friends. Now, one more thing to talk about, but I'm gonna take my last break of the night, and when I come back, I want to talk about Sideshow Con. We're gonna cover Sideshow Con and the things that we have seen so far. What I think about that. We cover a lot so far, but I want to really showcase. This is the first week of Sideshow Con. I want to share with you my opinion about the event so far and the things that have showcased, the teasers they have showcased, and the things that I'm anticipating there, and the things that I think is going to be interesting and definitely looking forward to watch. So just give me a couple minutes. I take another break. I need to get up, and then we'll come back and we'll finish this with going through Sideshow Con. Of course, finish the video. But thank you again for your support. Don't forget to leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this for the first time. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Leave your comments. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always nice to chat. And, you know, whatever you're at, let me know. And let me know what is the sections that you have seen here that you like the most. So in a moment, just a moment, I'll be right back. Thank you.
getting harder. You turn my heart up, throw me in water. I'm getting higher just to feel ya, cause I need to. No one knows it, heart is frozen from your poison. Taking the potion just to feel ya, cause I miss you. Oh my God, can't stop you like heroin. My love you got, there's no settlement. I can't pretend that we're nothing. Oh, I think I'm overdosing. I think that I think I'm overdosing. I think that I think I'm overdosing. I think I'm overdosing. It's getting stronger, can't take no longer. Walking on fire. I'm getting higher just to feel ya, cause I need to. Feels like I'm burning a little bit more, just a little bit more now. Taking the potion just to feel ya, cause I need ya. Oh my God, can't stop you like heroin. My love you got, there's no settlement. I can't pretend that we're not meant. Oh, I think I'm overdosing. 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 It's getting stronger. I think I'm overdosing. I think I'm overdosing.
Hey guys, we're back again. Thank you very much for giving me a little bit of time. Definitely needed to get up. I cannot just be sitting there for many hours, which I do here. But so I try to, segment everything, trying to be able to get up and move around and do a couple of things. That way it helps me, my health, of course. I spend a lot of time sitting down, which has never been good for me. But in any case, we are back, and there's a final thing that I want to cover is Sideshow Con. This is the first week of Sideshow Con. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not a fan, and for that, let me just go to the section where we can cover that. I'm gonna come first to Sideshow. And we're gonna look at some of the stuff there, of course, some of the stuff here that we're going to cover, some of the stuff we have seen here, some of these announcements and teasers. We're gonna look at those teasers. This is the new thing with Sideshow, but definitely there's a reveals, teasers that were showcased. But if you go to their social media, let's say you go to Facebook, for example, fakes with Sideshow collectibles. When you come here, of course, this is the thing that they're promoting. Is July 1st, July 28th. For starters, I want to give you, I'm telling you, I'm not necessarily a fan of this concept of what Sideshow is doing. Of course, you know, they're not being in San Diego Comic-Con hurts a lot of collectors, at least people who are there. It doesn't affect a lot of the way we used to do things, in the sense that back in the day, people were always anticipating the show to see things at the show, because it's just a couple of days of the San Diego Comic-Con. Then that event, of course, a lot of content creators show up, and I think that's the people who heard the most are the content creators, because they go there and they like to make videos and their videos go viral, so that's how they grow their channels, and nothing wrong with that. But I think the thing is that it's always the anticipation of the show, the build up to the show, which allow a lot of people to be excited and anticipating, and it creates this constant thing with the covering of things, the coverage from IGN, the coverage from the Toy Art, from so many of the websites. Everybody's covering things and talking about things, and you see the big YouTubers also looking at this stuff. It's all exciting. It's excitement and the build up around it that really matters for that fraction of the time, not even a full week. When you expand this event or convention to a place where it's going to be a full month, it kind of waters down the expectation, or waters down, in my opinion, the desire for people, because now it's going to be a month, so it's going to be plenty to talk about, because it's a full month. At first, when I saw the number, the dates, I was thinking, okay, it's a typo, but then I realized, no, it's actually, they want to cover a whole month, culminating with Sideshow, with San Diego Comic-Con at the same time. And to me, it's like, it doesn't make sense, because conventions, for the most part, are only 3, 4, 5 days. The most you can make a week, and you'll be fine. I totally get it. You're going to do the pre-convention or the pre-build-up to the convention, like a lot of companies do, like Neca and all those companies. They do teasers during the time, and they do like pre-orders before that, or they do like, you know, pre-sales and all of that. It's all cool and dandy, but the goal is the convention. And when you go to the convention, then it's when they release everything and all the teasers that they had. Now is when you can see full-blown the new stuff that is coming. So it's really to entice people. Here with the Sideshow Con concept that they have, it's been like, this week has been very, I would say, in my opinion, and some people may not agree with that, but to me it's been disappointing, because all they do is technically is just ramping up their social media, which they have done, selling the products they already have, doing giveaways and all that, which is kind of cool. It's more like a community-based type of thing. But to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like a convention. Even though it's a virtual convention, it doesn't feel like a convention. So here you can see it's more about just promoting the live chat, live videos, and all that stuff that they normally do. If we look at the pictures here, it is something that they've been doing already. It's like, I don't feel that they should be doing that as the thing. Here you can see, maybe we can see, for example, they do the starting of the week. Let's see all the giveaways. Here, for example, this is when they started doing the whole thing. This is what they do already on this stuff. But here, for example, let me go to this one. Of course, this is the new products, reveals, giveaways, live streams. There's been teasers, but not revealed so far. None of during the whole week, there was none of that. And of course, this is the banner. This is the stuff. This is what they technically started at 9 a.m. It was a weekly kickoff. Sideshow Social Network. Sideshow Join Us. Giveaway. Our print Instagram. So they technically promoting their stuff, but there was not necessarily anything new there. It was more about other things that had nothing to do with statues or brand new collectibles. And it started the weekly kickoff, and it was a live show, something that they constantly do. A giveaway, for example, here, another giveaway, stuff that we already have on stock. So they're doing all these giveaways of stuff that they haven't sold, which they've been sitting there for a while. So that was the thing, in my opinion, which here's the week one. This is technically, again, what they showcase. So we already kind of knew that. So there was not necessarily anything, in my opinion, of any value beyond the things that we have seen. Of course, a lot of art prints were showcased, which is something that might impress some people, and it might be fine. And there's a couple of things that they were like shown, you know, but it's more about the same thing that they already do, more on the promotional side, which already they do anyway. But there was nothing necessarily new besides just the little teasers that they gave us. So to me, is that they stretching this, something that could be done in 1 week. They could stretching it for a month. And for me, that's like, okay, that is just necessarily a good thing. Like, for example, when I look at the stuff that Prime1 does, in 2 hours, they do a full presentation with so much surprises that really opens the door for everything else that will come later. And to me, that 2 hours are just like not wasted time. To me, those 2 hours are just rich of content, of new products. They're perfect. But here it's like, you want me to be already, the Sideshow Con last year was already like a drag. In my opinion, the previous events are always a drag because there's a lot of fluff, not necessarily content that I care. And not enough teasers to surprise me. And although Sideshow's been impressive this year so far, as until now, with releases that the showcases that they have, the things that they have presented, the things they have released. So I would not gonna fault Sideshow for doing amazing art. They do an amazing work still. They started pretty strong, but you wanna really give it that, I don't know, boost perhaps with this Sideshow Con event. And I think having 1 week would be more than enough if it's fully packed of everything that you want to see. Doing it a month, it's kind of like a watered down version of it in the sense that you are stretching things, not necessarily giving you content, not necessarily giving you solid food. It's more like in kind of, you know, feeding you with this, or like, you know, it's a lot of entries, you know, necessarily like the full course meal, in my opinion. That's how I feel. You know, I might be completely wrong, but the same thing when you come to Instagram. When you come to Instagram, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You can go to X Twitter. It's the same thing also. So technically, they just nothing necessarily like it's, in my opinion, oh my God, this is it. You know, this is the moment. So, you know, I will tell you, Sideshow has impressive things. You know, I'm not gonna deny it. Like the stuff they do, the promotional art, all that stuff is neat. I just feel that they really it requires more content. You have to sign up for this stuff for them to send you all this and that. You know, it could be more impressive. Now, that is my opinion as a whole of the event so far. You know, it could be better. Maybe this week it kicks off, or, you know, by the end it's gonna be a massive thing with so many reveals. But I think if you're going to do something that you can call it, hey, this is the pre-show. We can do 2 weeks of pre-show before we get into the full week or the 2 final weeks. Who knows? But it started, like I saying, that the Sideshow Con started already. I started, but nothing has been fully revealed yet. Just tease. And not enough to say, oh my God, this is it. But, you know, now putting that aside, talking about the teasers, the stuff that has been released so far, the stuff that has been showcased as teasers, let me kind of give you an idea of the teasers at the con. For example, the first tease, let's see, I don't think it's another one. The first one that we got was this Luke Skywalker Red 5 standing by. And this is definitely it's a premium format figure. I think we have seen the some of the art of the concept. Let me take you to Statue Forum. I saw that there, Statue Forum. I'm coming here. You know, you have to rely on the people, really, on the collectors to get to that place. Let's see. Here you can see that I'm looking right there. This was originally the concept. This is definitely from the original Star Wars film. And let's see, this is the concept that was showcased, at least. This is the art concept. We're not sure if this is going to be the ultimate piece for this Luke Skywalker. But I think if they come up with something like this, it will be a very impressive statue. And I think the concept is there. The idea is there. I think there's a lot of potential for this to be a great piece, for sure. I definitely anticipating this. This is one piece that I would say I'm highly anticipating just based on this art alone. The concept here is really excellent. So the potential is here. Now, we have never had a statue, as far as I know, with this outfit from Sideshow. We have the action figure 1/6 scale by Sideshow from this piece. From this particular version of Luke Skywalker. So see it as this as a statue, as a quarter scale statue PF. there definitely is a lot of anticipation here. And I know a lot of people are really anticipating this to be great. A lot of Star Wars collectors out there. So, I don't know. This is perhaps one of the exciting news, even though we haven't gotten much besides this. But definitely this is one that I would love to see soon. So I don't know when they're going to have it. I don't know if this coming week is going to be released or they're going to showcase it or it's going to be down the road. It's going to be within this month, which to me is like, okay, so this con is kind of weird because it's not like, you know, the time is so long and it's already kind of, you can lose interest right away because there's so much stuff that they put into this event that has nothing to do with actually what you really come to see. But, you know, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, so far, just the teaser here is this concept. It's really enticing me to do something here. This is a very cool idea, a very cool concept. This, of course, the concept. I don't know if this is going to be the case, but it will be great to see in the end how they do this. Again, premium format, so it's going to be a quarter scale statue. A lot of people are anticipating this one. So we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for that one. Definitely, that's an anticipated thing here. Now, the next thing they showcase is another surprise here. Is this Bishop premium format, Bishop future and past premium format figure. This is one that has been asked for many, 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 many years. So if you are a Bishop fan, you're an X-Men fan, then definitely this is one that excites a lot of people. So yeah, I'm highly anticipating this. There hasn't been that many Bishop statues over the years. There hasn't been a quarter scale official Bishop statue ever. You know, no one has done it that. You know, we have seen, you know, up to this day, I will tell you this, the best Bishop statue that I've known, of course, it will be the Bowen Designs, which I did own at some point and I review in this channel. One of my favorites by the K Brothers. Actually, this is my video right here. You can see this is my picture. This is my video. This is my picture. I took this for, if you never watch it, you can watch it. This is, up to this day, in my opinion, the best Kuchar, you know, one of the best Kuchar Brothers statues ever, at least, you know, from the Bowen era. And one of the best Bishop statues art concepts ever created. I think it's the best ever created. Even I've seen so many others, even custom pieces. I think up to this day, I still love this one. For the time when it came out, it was amazing. And the K Brothers did an amazing job with this one in the Bowen design era. I love this piece. I love it. I recommend whoever owned this 1/6 scale, you ever own this, is one of the best Bowen Designs pieces ever, in my opinion. It's very, very impressive. Here you can see this is by this collector, a good friend of mine too. And of course, you know, you can see the concept. It's such an impressive looking statue, 1/6 scale statue. So I recommend that one for sure. It's very impressive. It's been others, of course. You know, like you got the bus that was also impressive. But when you look at statues for this, like Bishop statue, you have the Iron Studios Bishop, which is a 110. It's not a bad one. Let me just put X-Men Bishop statue, okay? Let's see what comes up, because I don't... Here, of course, this Diamond Select Toys is not a bad piece. I would say almost in the 1/6 scale. Not a bad piece at all. I think this is part of the premium, so this is Polystone, perhaps. You can find it at Amazon. Interesting piece. I think I've seen some pictures of it. Very cool concept too. Not a bad piece. That is one right there. You also have this Iron Studios 110. Not bad. And of course, we've seen, look at this picture, Marvel Toy News. It's kind of cool. I still think that Kuchar Brothers is better. And of course, I've seen other. This is Darkside Collectible Studio. This is another one. Another from that is upcoming. This is for the Age of Apocalypse version. This is from Iron Studios, was showcased too. So that's another one that has been showcased. Now look at this one. This is from this company. Let me see if we can open this one. This is for creative, the creative license. I think this is what was prior to what this was technically Diamond Select Toys back in the day. So look at this, an old one, very old concept still. You know, you can find it there. So these are old pieces that had been produced, very small. It's never, again, we have seen even this Kotobukiya here. This Kotobukiya that was R110. The artifact, this is based on the cartoon. So it's PVC. So we have seen all these tiny statues, you know, no more than 1/6. And that's about it. Quarter scale, we haven't seen. Also, you know, we saw, you know, like there's always a custom piece. You have seen also XM Studios. That is a part of their concept, but that is the 1/6 Sentinel diorama version. So XM Studios have done another one. XM Studios Bishop. Right here. On the X-Men versus Sentinel. And that's about it. So, to be honest with you, the only Bishop that I would recommend, or, you know, I like all of them. You'd really like the concepts. And here you can see Bishop. Very nice Bishop too. Very nice definition. But I would say the best is definitely that Bowen Designs. So, really coming back to the idea of having it as a quarter scale is very enticing. So this is another highly anticipated piece for me. I'm really looking forward to know more about this, because it will be nice to see Bishop. Bishop is one of my favorite characters from the X-Men era, from the 90s X-Men. Definitely when you look at Will Spatasio art, it was amazing. So it's really interesting to see how they're gonna take this, what they're gonna do, the classic suit. It seems like it's gonna be the classic Bishop. Bishop suit hasn't really changed much, and I don't think that they should change it. They should go for the 90s look, and I think this is gonna be a home run. I'm really looking anticipating this. Unless something major happens and they mess up something in the art, I think it's gonna be a home run. I think a lot of people are gonna be super excited for this one. So this is probably one of the most anticipated pieces for me from the con. We'll see what happens. At least we have this, you know, at least this is a teaser for us that we know that this is coming, that it's great. Now, the next one I would say here, I think I missed one here from DC. Right there. I missed this one. I'm going to talk about the Riddler. That's another one that was talked about in a premium format figure. Riddler has been kind of popular. We know there's going to get a Riddler from Prime1 Studio, and you know Prime1 Studio is killing it. So how they're going to do that Riddler, who knows? When you look at, for example, Prime1 Studio, of course, we have seen the different XM Studios Riddler, DC Studio Riddler. We know that it's going to be the 1/3 scale Riddler that we know from the showcase. I have this reveal actually on my channel. We have this reveal from the showcase. I think it's going to be a 1/3. It might be a quarter scale. Who knows? At this moment, I don't remember. So definitely, okay, it's going to be a Carlos Diana is going to be a 1/3. So if you're looking for the quarter scale, I think this is the right time to have a Riddler. Another people, Batman fans, which is a lot of Batman fans out there. You saw Chris, the Batman, the statue collector. He loves the stuff. So that is another guy that is going to be excited. And a lot of people, there's a lot of Batman collectors out there. So definitely this is one for those who are building the Batman Rogue gallery. This is one that was missing for a while. You know, we have seen other characters, of course, enough Jokers. But to have the Riddler is one that definitely was sold out and asked for a long time. So added to the list of others that have been sold out. Of course, Sideshow still needs to do more of those rogues. And there's more characters that deserve to be made. But I think Riddler is not a bad choice to make. And I think there is a desire for that. Now, is this going to be based on the comics or is it going to be based on the movies? I don't know. There's something that definitely is in the air right now. It might... You know, it needs to be based on the comics for sure. That's my opinion. But of course, you never know with Sideshow on this. It might go the other way. We don't know exactly how this is going to be. What is the tone that they're going for this? But, you know, I would love personally have more classic Riddler, more of the classic outfit. I think would be best. I think people would love more of that classic rather than the more modern take on Riddler. But, you know, right now, all we have is this teaser. So we don't know exactly how that's going to be. Only time can tell. So keep an eye open for that one. You know, we'll see. We'll get a reveal for that one. Now, the next one, and still on the DC side, we have another reveal. This is definitely one that's been lukewarm, the reception. It's for the Peacemaker Eat Peace statue. Now, when it says statue, it doesn't say premium format. So is it going to be a quarter scale? Is it going to be a 1/5 scale? What scale are they going for? You know, they don't do 1/6. They do more 1/5. But they might do quite a scale and they call it a statue. Who knows? This is something that we don't know the scale yet. All we know is a statue. Some people may not like Peacemaker. Some people say why they don't like the show. I will tell you, I like the show with Cena, with John Cena. I did like the show. I was surprisingly, if you watch my channel, you know that I reviewed that first season of that. I don't know if there's a second season coming, but I was impressed by the show. It's brutal. It's not necessarily, there's a little split. It's a lot of bad language and it's a lot of things that perhaps are not appropriate. The intro is pretty fun. And it was impressed about Joe Cena, actually, as an actor. John Cena, I was impressed about the way he acted there. So if they're going to base it on his persona or going to base it on the comics, and in reality, the way his outfit in the movie, in the TV series, is the same as the classic Peacemaker outfit in the show. You know, and I'm sorry, in the comics. So when you look at Peacemaker, for example here, on the images, of course, here is Peacemaker. Okay, you look at this. This is Peacemaker, John Cena. Of course, this is very good outfit. This is the classic in the comic. This is back in the 90s comic book. So they definitely respected the source material. I don't know if you can see this picture here, small. And when you see this other, you know, it's definitely, they went for the comic book look. So is it going to be some sort of diorama with the Peacemaker? This is the original art of the Peacemaker right here. For those who are never, this is the original art of Peacemaker. So yeah, they're going for the style. So there was nothing wrong with Peacemaker. Of course, now we see in a Mortal Kombat and all. So yeah, this is a very intriguing, interesting idea. I know sometimes people, when they think about this, they are actually thinking on Peacemaker. They're thinking more of the movie. And that really showcased a lot of collectors. And there's the criticism is, oh, you know, they're gonna do it in John Cena, based on John Cena. And to me, it's like, no, Peacemaker's been in comics way before John Cena. Yeah, John Cena kind of popularized a little bit in modern times. He was popularized because of the character was brought from obscurity to be brought into this. And that is mostly James Gunn's decision that he, as a director and creator of the character, well, not the creator, the character of the movie, and the topic he did with the, you know, he took with the last Suicide Squad film that he was directing. He definitely chose the character. So yeah, he went for that. So we'll see. This is one, again, we don't know the scale. We don't know the design or the concept, how it's going to be. It's a statue. So we don't know if it's going to be quarter scale or 1/5 scale, or what he's going to be doing. This is another one that I'm really interested to know. It's intriguing to find out what they're going to do with this one. All right, so this is it. And the next piece, the next teaser, or the final teaser that we have, is this Vampire's Loss. This is a concept. If I'm going back to Sideshow, I saw somebody presenting a concept. You know, I don't really, go to forums as much as I did once. Personal reasons. But when you look at this one, I saw the concept here. So people are interested on this one. Maybe here we can see the Peacemaker statue. Not going back to the Peacemaker, they just showcased this. And of course, everybody in the forum, I was looking at the notes. Everybody, ain't nobody saying nobody asked for this, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just always going to be that, you know, collectors normally not finding, you know, like, just because a character they want is not there, they just don't see the potential. To me, that's just a little bit short-sighted. There's always room for all the characters, and the companies are not going to just give you the A-listers always, because ultimately, if you buy that, people are just not going to go for the next thing. You know, you have to kind of put in, you know, A-listers, B-listers, C-listers, and of course, they're always going to give you a lot of Batmans because those are the ones that sell the most. But this is the one, Vampire Lost Premium Format Figure. Of course, we got this teaser. And I think there was a concept here that somebody showcased. This, as you can see, and this is Vampire. Yeah, they do this premium format figures. We just saw last week, we talked about that premium format figure. Also, this vampire figure, female character. This is another one. So they're still expanding on the originals. They're doing their own concept, and they're definitely going into the dark tone of things. Something that Sideshow loves to do from time to time. They do the originals, and they love the darker characters and creations. So this is something else that definitely it's kind of going to that alley. When you look at this one, how are they going to do this? That's just the concept. We don't know if they're going to just copy the concept or going to do something based on that, how it's going to be. This is something that it seems to Sideshow seems to go back to its original roots, because that's what they used to do back in the day. They do a lot of this type of creations, and they were always popular. People seem to love those, so it makes sense for Sideshow to kind of go back to some of its original roots and try those things that, you know, is not for everyone for sure, but definitely there is a market out there that is intrigued. They just did this with the succubus premium format figure that a lot of people seem to love. That's another of the dark original tones, so it's gonna be something that is gonna be alongside this piece. They continue to build in this concept. This piece, you know, it's not my cup of tea, but it's impressive. It was really well sculpted, well painted. So these are the things that definitely you can see Sideshow still striving to achieve, to go into that route, to continue to build on that direction. And there's another teaser. That was the last teaser of this week that was showcased there, and yeah, definitely there is certain potential. So answering to the question that was asked first by my good friend Cap B right there. What are my most anticipated pieces, at least from the show here? I will tell you, my most anticipated definitely will be Bishop. And definitely that Luke Skywalker Red 5, definitely looking forward to it. And I'm intrigued by Peacemaker. Very intrigued by what they're going to do with it. Riddler, of course, you know, as a character. Yeah, I think the concepts are there. But the most anticipated for me is Bishop. And then, of course, also Luke Skywalker. All right, my friends. Yeah, coming now to the end of the video. I'm gonna have a couple of seconds here. If somebody has any questions to ask, please don't forget to like and subscribe and to leave a comment. Ooh, what is cold? It was good. All right, now just coming to the end. I appreciate everyone that has been supportive of this channel, always watching the videos, always supportive. We talk about a lot of collectibles this week. It was really fun. I would say that with Sideshow Con, definitely interested. There's no need for a full month if they're not gonna release this stuff right away. I feel that they're just overextending themselves, stretching it too thin. Of course, they can continue doing what they always have done, which is the social media thing. I think the idea is more to promote the social media stuff by enticing you to say, hey, we have the Sideshow Con, reveals are coming, so come and sign up to this and sign up to that and be involved with us. It's more about enticing thing, but to me it's a little mischievous to do it that way, because in reality it's not the truth. It's not that you're going to have convention releases every single time. All they give you were teasers, nothing more, nothing else. Something that they used to do back in the day, prior to the event, prior to the you know, San Diego Comic-Con, even prior to Sideshow Con, when they were doing Sideshow Cons the previous years. So yeah, it's a little bit misleading, you know, and you have to be careful about that. But other than that, definitely there's some things there that seems to be fine. Are they going to showcase more? They need to. If they're gonna be for a month, they definitely need to have more releases than just a few statues. That would be more than necessary just to have. I always tell that Prime1 still have a better presentation. Just with 2 hours, they do more than what Sideshow does in 1 month, you know, honestly. But overall, I think it's amazing. There's definitely, we talk about a lot of things from Buzz Fight Studio with their Garfield figures. Really excited to see these tiny figures. Super 7 always with their ultimate stuff, you know, the Threezero with the Transformers stuff. The Neca stuff, definitely Neca always there in some way. None crazy about that Beetlejuice statue. Go for Sideshow. 1/6 is better. Oniri Creations definitely setting the foundation. We covered that. Definitely going back to those things. We talk about every other company definitely that we covered today was interesting. On the anime side, definitely companies are doing really good stuff. PCS, as always, you know, PCS has been one of the best companies this year. There's so many good releases this year. Prime1 Studio, of course, always impressive. That Batman statue is, in my opinion, on top of, once it's released, if it's as it's shown here, I think it's going to be one of the most sold out, one of the best Batman statues, quarter scale statues of Batman ever. I think it looks fantastic. So it could be at the top 10 of anybody's list. It could be anybody's without no problem. Anybody's best or most favorite Batman statue ever. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a matter of perspective. So definitely it's it's been cool. I definitely appreciate your time. You know, at the end of the day, I want to just leave this with you. No matter how things happen with this world, the world's always crazy. It's always fun to have these moments where we look at all these things. But at the end of the day, all these things are material things. You know, things are improved. I will tell collectors, because sometimes I feel collectors get so bogged down into what's the best, and like, oh, company don't need to produce and produce that, and they, things don't work out. I think at the end of the day, it's about having fun. Enjoy life. There are things that are more important in life than collectibles. Family. For me, most important thing, definitely it's family. Definitely have a good relationship with God. It's more important to me. I think it's important to have everything in your life right, whether you believe in God or not, or whether you believe in the way you believe in God is different than mine. It's about just having the spirituality, and I think we all need that in our lives. It brings peace in our lives, where we can do the things that we do, but those things are not overtaking our lives. That's the problem that I see with many collectors. It seems like all these things overtake them to the point that it brings more stress. And the reality is that we come to do those things to distress ourselves. But if it becomes more stressful to be a collector, then what's the point? You are technically trapped into something that is not beneficial. So I think it's important to build our lives in the areas that matter. And maybe I'm preaching here now, but it's about building your life. First and foremost, building a relationship, a spiritual relationship with, in this case, a higher being. For me is God. Always build my relationship with God. It's something that I probably have forsaken for so long in many ways, in many areas of my life. I think go back to the roots of my life, the things that are important, and that also being able to spend more time with my family, which I've been doing more now this year. Of course, I don't produce as many videos as before, but I try to spend more time with my family. To honestly, like doing things with the family, things that at the end of the day have more value for me. Going on vacation. We've been going on vacation, going to the beach with the family, out with the family, spending time with doing things with my family has become a center point in my life, that everything else becomes irrelevant, and that includes sometimes even producing video content for this channel. I have a lot of videos to finish, and I haven't finished. A lot of videos that I need to edit. It's stuff that is sitting in my computer for years now. Maybe I get to that point. And to be honest with you, I would like to finish it. I would like to do this more often. But at the moment in my life where I'm at, I think there are things that are more important that take priority. And again, my family has taken center stage. Is what I do. Is the thing that in the end has more value than trying to build this channel. People come and go. Content creators come and go. If I die tomorrow, will people remember this channel? That's what I have to remind myself. That's the question I ask myself every day. As you can see, I don't have too many viewers. Not many everybody's watching this. Everybody goes to watch this or this other person. Of course, the people that are constantly bombarding you with videos, and making themselves look like, oh, life is all put together, when reality they're not. As a person who has built this channel and worked in the channel, I know it's so much time consuming to produce content when you already have a job, and you add this to the hey, what's up, late night trip? Thank you for watching. It's already hard, and then someone has to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something. If you're not doing this full time, if you're doing this as a part-time thing, or as a side thing, or as a hobby, you got to sacrifice something to produce content, and that's time. That's the thing that someone is gonna give. Most of the time, the ones who suffer the most is your family. You don't have time for them because you're only involved trying to build your channel and your this while you still have also a full-time job to do work. So that's the things that I after doing this for 11 years plus, I realized that there are things that I need priority, and I try to take priority. I try to prioritize the things that are important to me and leave the other things on the side. And if things work out in the end, if this channel grows, and of course I have more time to do things, and maybe at some point go back to do it full-time, I would do it. I would love to do it, but I'm not going to live on that hope. My hope doesn't come from that. My hope comes first and foremost from God and salvation that He has given me, but also the family that He has given me. It's a beautiful gift. My family is a beautiful gift. My wife, my daughter, spending time with my nephew, with my nieces, my sister-in-law, my parents, everything. I try to focus myself more now in this point in my life with the people that matter the most. My brother, people that sometimes I don't have time to see because we live in separate places in the world. But I try to be more proactive and trying to communicate more with them and give them more of my time. You know what I mean? But I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for being here tonight. It was fun. It's always a pleasure. I really enjoyed the time. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of your night or the day, depending where you are in the world. enjoy some tomorrow, Sunday, whatever you have to do. I'm definitely going to church, maybe do something, I don't know, with my family, go out with my wife or something, do something. You know, I definitely need to spend more. We need to focus on those things. I try to do more with my family on the weekends now more than ever. So my friends, God bless you. And let me just put the note here before I go. Let me do this while I have you here, because sometimes I forget while I'm doing everything. I'm trying to do all this while I'm doing this. Maybe you get the chance to see it. All right, it's there. So yeah, I would say God bless you all. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. You can always come back to this video tomorrow. Of course, you'll see the timestamp, so that way we separate everything you're interested in. You miss something, you can always go back to that point and you can rewatch it. And you know, by all means, that's always a fun thing to do. I enjoy it. Sometimes I go back and look at some of this stuff, but yeah, definitely it was fun to be with you tonight. So my friends, take care. I'll talk to you again. Bye bye.